and America's largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies through our many varied programs, including free safety equipment donations, free officer survival training, cash donations, and condolence letters to the family of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty. USDSA also offers college scholarships for the dependent children of law enforcement, along with a citizen awareness program and thank you cards to law enforcement. These are just some of the ways United States Deputy Sheriff's Association assists America's law enforcement and the citizens they serve. For more information about United States Deputy Sheriff's Association or to see how you can help, visit www.usdeputy.org. United States Deputy Sheriff's Association, taking training to the next level because lives are on the line.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay, things people love.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Good-looking forecast for us as we're starting off this beautiful work week. 71 degrees under mostly sunny skies. 46 tonight, so a bit on the crisp side, but warmer tomorrow. We'll see a high of 77, again under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 531 points today to 46,722.
Carrier starts it out, and they score right off the hop, and it's a milestone goal for the captain. And Jarvis will receive the pass. Drop for Aho, his shot. Jarvis, he scores! He does it in overtime again!
First down and goal from the 3. Young under center. The snap to fake to Hubbard. Rolling right. Now Young rolls back to his left. Eyes up. Young throws. End zone. Diving catch. Leakett. Touchdown, Carolina!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Monday, everybody.
You did it. You made it.
You made it. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. It is a victory Monday for the Carolina Panthers. It has been a victory every day thus far for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Victory 2 week.
Not as many wins in the college football world, but we'll get to that. The point is, there's no reason to stall. See what I did there? Let's jump into the big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Carolina Panthers beat the New York Jets. 3 straight wins. First win on the road. They're above 500. They are 4-3. The Carolina Panthers are above 500. And this one came with a different flavor. We should get you updated on the latest, which we'll dive into further at 3:15. But Bryce Young left the game with an ankle injury. Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, had it first. It appears as if the scans and the appropriate evaluations have taken place, and it looks like he'll be out for at least a week. Don't expect him for Buffalo this week, which changes things a little bit. But again, we'll dive in further at about 3:15. Looking at the Jets game, there is one particular group that deserves their kudos. The defense. And the reason why they get their kudos is because this was not a 35-32 victory. This was 13-6. And I think the 13 that the Panthers scored, maybe if they were a bit more aggressive, could have been more, but they knew that the Jets had nothing for the Carolina Panthers defense. They knew Justin Fields had nothing for the Carolina Panthers defense. Tyrod Taylor got in there and did his best, but backup quarterback against a defense that already had been cruising. It's a tough hill to climb. Didn't have Garrett Wilson, didn't have much to offer. 13-6. I said this last week, and I think this game proves it. The Carolina Panthers can try as much as they want to. They can try to go be something else. They can try to go, fight against their DNA. They are the Carolina Panthers. They are going to be a ground and pound team and win with defense and running when they are at their best. I think I talked about it in the give a shout out to somebody on Twitter. They gave me the name. Ethan Hawke, his daughter Maya Hawke is an actress, and Ethan Hawke talks about how he tried everything to get her to not be an actress. He's like, I was famous as a kid. I put her in, sports. I put her in science. I put her in all this other stuff. And then at one point, you just had to look and go, I think it's in your DNA. I think you okay, fine. I'm going to help you try to make this dream come true. Now she's a famous actress. I couldn't think of her name. Twitter gave me Maya Hawke. Thank you. That's kind of the Panthers. They're like, we want to be a passing offense. We number 1 overall pick quarterback, all these first-round wide receivers. We have a modern offensive mind where we want to be an air-it-out modern offense. And then your DNA is just like, well, what if we ran the ball a bunch and played really good defense stopping the run? How does that sound? It's like we can't get away from that, can we? That's when we're playing our best, isn't it? I mean, you look at their last 2 games, they won a game against one of the best offenses in the league, 30-27, and they won a game against one of the worst offenses in the league, 13-6, and you could argue they did them the same way. Running the ball and playing defense. And it's hilarious that those 2 games can be described kind of similarly, but it's just what the Panthers are when things are going well. And it's why, and again, we'll dive into it at 3:15, I don't know if there's a ton of change when you go to your backup quarterback. When you're already kind of playing a game that is designed to ask your quarterback to do the least amount possible. Bryce Young expected to be out. Andy Dalton stepping in. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
The Canes beat the LA Kings late night yet again in overtime in a rather up and down game. I think there's... when they play these games that start at, that one was a 9 o'clock game, but it felt later than that. When they play these late night games, I like to imagine what it would be like for different people to fall asleep at different points in the game. For example, Jordan Stahl scored 2 games in the first 4, or 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. He had one in the first 12 seconds. If you'd tried your hardest to stay up, but you were exhausted, you caught just the first couple minutes, your brain may have said, it's okay, you can go to sleep. They're playing great. When Stahl scores 2, you're good.
So, yeah, it's 3-0. Bedtime.
And exactly, you could have gone even further. And then you wake up and you go, they needed overtime? You wake up and you go, Jarvis, I missed a Jarvis overtime game winner. That's exactly what you did. It came all the way back. And credit to LA for not giving up, right? And credit to a resilient Canes bunch for still coming away with the win. Ended up being a little all over the place, but a win is a win is a win. They are 5-0. They are 3-0 to start the State Fair road trip. They are the last remaining undefeated team and have been for a little bit of time now. Will that continue forever? I don't see why not. Except for the fact that it won't. It won't continue forever, but it is showing something about this team. There's maybe we were just protecting ourselves. Before the season, what did we say? Oh, new defensive players take 15, 20 games to get used to the system. Oh, Ehlers and that top line are going to take a while to get used to each other, which is happening. But we built in all of these almost reasons or excuses for why the Canes could start almost slow. And we'd be like, well, we said before the season that Miller wouldn't get it going from the jump and Nikishin would take time. And we knew the top line this and top line that. Then they reeled off 5 straight wins to open the season. And the crazy part is I still don't think our logic was poor. I still think Miller is going to be better in this defensive scheme after a 15 to 20 game seasoning, little ramp up. I still think, obviously, and hopefully for Nikolai Ehlers, that top line is going to get better as a unit. They're going to get better with chemistry. And just because they started 5-0 doesn't mean that's incorrect. I still think there's ways this team gets better. Now, there are ways other teams will get better as well. They're dealing with a lot of the same stuff also. And injuries, obviously, we're seeing it with Gostisbehere. We're seeing it with Slavin. Injuries can change everything. But make no mistake about it, it's not nothing when you start 5-0. It's not nothing when you start 5-0. It's about 6% of your schedule. Does that make it seem like more or less? 6%. Yeah,
only 6%. All right.
All right. Well, 6% of your schedule in a long form, right? And it's a big sample size that is a full season, but it's still something all right. It's basically one game of an NFL season. You've won game one smooth through. Almost exactly, by the way. That is number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
So we started with the 2 wins, right? We started Panthers. Hey, they won. Canes. Hey, they won. By the way, Canes play tonight as well. Now we can get to the less winning of the teams we cover. We'll start in chronological order. UNC lost to Cal. Late night. I don't know what it is about this recent. We're just playing everything late night now.
Yeah, everyone's going out west right now. Before time changes.
UNC played their best game of the year,
which is saying a lot.
They lost on the road to Cal, and I'm not saying this to be like mean or too overly jokey. I'm saying this because I'm being 100% honest. It looked like a football game. And that is a step up from what it's looked like in the past for UNC, which is a team of disjointed personalities trying to put together some kind of a football game. They looked like a football team. They spotted them a touchdown early with a fumble right away, and then they drove down, meaning Cal drove down and scored. But then they played football. It looked the most cohesive they have looked as a team. And again, this is going to sound weird. They lost 3 fumbles, didn't force any turnovers, and that's the difference. But guess what? That's the difference. That's a normal thing to be the difference in football games, right? We lost the turnover battle, and that kept us from winning a 1-score game. That's normal. When those are the talking points, rather than didn't seem like anybody was fighting at the end of the game, or rather than why isn't Bill Belichick talking to the players, or rather than that play calling was the worst I've ever seen. And I'm not saying the play calling was good, but I'm saying it was good enough to win if he didn't fumble a bunch of times. By the way, I think this is the 4th different person I'm going to say this about. Maybe Benjamin Hall is their running back. Right? I've said this about a whole bunch of different running backs throughout June, the youngster. Obviously, before the season, we thought it was Goss. On the first drive, they gave it to the guy that just retired, Caleb Hood. So it's the 4th different player I've said this about. But maybe he's their running back. And it's good to start with a running game. I think he had 68 yards, but he had some pop. Looked good. And then finally, Duke lost to Georgia Tech. This was noon on Saturday. And this is going to continue to be one of the talking points I've had about Duke all year. They have a strange problem of turning what I'm calling production into points. At one point in time, they were outgaining Georgia Tech, 238 total yards to 64. They had 14 first downs to 4 first downs. It was 7-7. Basically, the whole first half, Duke dominated, and it was tied. That is the difference in the game. Georgia Tech dominated the second half, and it showed on the scoreboard. Duke dominated the first half, and it didn't show on the scoreboard. And it goes back to something I said after their Elon game, which they did end up winning by a bunch. It was their opener. Because I remember at one point in time, which, by the way, Darian Mensah threw for like 370-something in this game, so it's very similar. Against Elon, he had thrown for 380 yards through 3 quarters. They were dominating a team about as much as you could, and it was a 1-score game against Elon early in the 4th. And I went, that's an issue. If you're dominating that much, you should be ahead on the scoreboard by a lot more. And they eventually did against Elon, but that's the difference between Elon and Georgia Tech. And it happened a few times in other games this season for Duke, where they're like, it's working, but it's not. right? And a fumble down on the goal line that gets returned 90 yards. That's a classic way to outgain your opponent and not have anything to show for it, or actually have negative to show for it. Teams like Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is good, they will come back to bite you if you let them lie around too long while you're outplaying them. And that's exactly what happened. It's really the scarlet letter, the Achilles heel of this Duke team is that they can be really winning a game and actually not be winning the game at all. Weird phenomena. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's just a taste of what we have to get into today. And if you want to react to any of it, Monday Soundoff at 4:15. We'll open up the phone lines. If you want to bookmark the number, the Heister Automotive Group hotline, here it is. Write it down, save it to your phone. 919-860-5326. At 4:15, we will open up the phone lines for all of your takes on local teams, non-local teams, whatever you want to talk about. It's truly a open segment for callers coming up at 4:15. When we come back, Panthers, they beat the Jets, but at what price? Stick around.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan, from my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for 2.5 months, and I've lost 40 pounds. But here's the thing. I've been able to maintain that goal weight through this whole process. I've reached that 40-pound mark, and I've been able to keep it off because that's all part of the plan at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, is that they not only want you to reach that target weight, but they want you to maintain it as well. It's called the maintenance phase, and I'm in that maintenance phase right now, and it feels good knowing the hard work that I've done to get down to where I am right now. It's sticking. It's working. It's keeping me at a weight that I want to be at, and that's the reason why Raleigh Weight Loss Center really has worked so far for me. That's why you got to give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call with them. A free 15-minute phone call. That way they can answer any of the questions that you have. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
This party's getting crazy.
Are those mini horses?
And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs.
Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Andy's coming, everybody! Back to your places! Hurry! Get to your place! Get to your place! Where's my ear? Who's in my ear? Did you see my ear? Out of my way! Here I come! Here I come! Oh.
The name, Stolen.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Well done, Dennis. It took me much longer than it should have to go, why is he playing Toy Story? Is it because Bryce collapses like when Andy... Andy! That's where it comes from. Andy Dalton getting the start this weekend expected for the Carolina Panthers. How about it? Now you may say, why? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because Bryce Young hurt his ankle. Before we dive into the hows, the whats, how are they going to overcome it? What does Andy do that Bryce doesn't, and everything else? Dave Canales spoke to the media earlier today. Here's the latest on Bryce Young's ankle.
We're going to go day to day. We're going to go day to day on that right now, and just really look at him each day. Just test the ankle in different ways to see if we can't get him back out there on Wednesday in some way, shape, or form. So we're going to just take it that way. And he's saw him this morning, talked to him, and he's like, let's push this thing, let's see what we got, And so we're gonna try to take that approach with it and just go from there.
Day to day. You thought you were going to get more than that from Dave Canales? Tom Pelissero says it is a 2 to 4 week injury. Tom Pelissero, NFL Network. based on scans, they have high ankle. I used to know what high ankle sprain meant.
Mm-hmm.
It used to mean 5 weeks if you're a superhero, 6 weeks. High ankle sprains a lot of times were described as worse than breaks. Within the last 2 years, all of a sudden all of that went away. I guess they brought into the term of what a high ankle is because now guys can come back in 2 to 4 weeks or 2 to 6 weeks. So it's, I used to know what it means.
Pelissero did say as well that Carolina is hopeful it could be as little as one game. And Joe Person of The Athletic also cited sources saying he's going to miss this coming Sunday at least.
Which is big.
Yeah.
And actually, I feel bad for Bryce because he's been here probably feels longer than it is the time he's been in Carolina. They finally get a home game against a legit opponent. You're winning games, and he's like, I'll watch this one. I wanted to play all the games where we were 5 games below 500 and mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Those were awesome. I'll sit this one out. That's going to be the Bills at home, and we're both in the top 2 in our division. That'll be great. I'll be sitting over here. Probably not the best for him. Dave Canales also spoke today about making sure Andy Dalton is ready while they're going day-to-day with Bryce Young. Here's what Canales had to say.
We have to evaluate how much can Bryce do. Can he get out there and function in practice, and Andy's ready to go. He'll be ready to take on the game plan and to make sure that the whole process, the whole offense, all of those things are moving forward as we have to make a decision.
Here's the good news for the Carolina Panthers. And obviously your starting quarterback getting hurt in the middle of a win streak is not good news, okay? And no matter what you think of Andy Dalton, it's not good news. It's not. But the good news is the game plan is pretty insulated against quarterback injury. Basically, and I say this because of what we've seen, how they treat Bryce is how you treat a backup quarterback. Like when they're playing their best, that is how you treat a backup quarterback. You acknowledge, well, we can't ask you to do absolutely nothing. We might need you to complete some 3rd and 4th downs, and you have to be good enough to keep a defense honest. You have to be able to complete enough passes to keep a defense honest. But make no mistake about it, if we can, we're going to run the ball. We're going to have long extended drives where we don't ask you to do much, and we're going to have a defense that doesn't make you score 30, and we're going to bank on that. That's how you treat Bryce Young and how you treat a backup quarterback in most teams. Right? It's not like, and I'm just going to list a handful. It's not all inclusive, and it's not meant. This list is not meant to, insult or compliment anybody too much. But if you have like a Josh Allen, a Drake May, a Lamar Jackson, any of, and Patrick Mahomes, obviously, right? Herbert, like the dudes that are mentioned at the top, they do a lot of things that you just can't have a backup that can do it. Right? You when they come in, when the backup comes in, you immediately go, all right, let's eliminate all those plays that you have to be wildly special to execute, and let's see what else we have in our playbook. When you take out Bryce, you're not asking him to do a bunch of superhero things. Andy Dalton maybe won't be as quality at certain things. There's shades of a different game, less mobile at this point in his career, whatever it is. But there's not an insane amount of superhero plays for Bryce Young in that playbook, right? So you don't have to change that much. You don't. And if things are going as well as they possibly can, you probably don't have to change at all. Andy Dalton can hand it off to Rico Dowdle as well as anybody. Heck, spread them out. Rico Dowdle direct snap if it's working as well as it possibly could. Like if it's working as well as it possibly can, if the offensive line is cranking and everything else, that's what you're going to be doing anyway.
And let's also not forget the Bills have the worst yards per carry on defense of any team in the entire league. 5.8 yards per carry allowed.
I mean, there's a lot of like weird indirect things. They got beat by the Falcons. Drake London absolutely lit them up, and Drake London and Tedero McMillan are seen as comps in a lot of ways. Sometimes I think it's a lazy comp. It's just they're both tall. It's kind of where it goes.
Hey, you're tall, athletic. Came from the West Coast. Sure.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, you guys play in what used to be the Pac-12. Now is not even close. But either way, that exists. The thing I would be worried about is Andy Dalton had some weird decisions towards the end of that game. meaning towards the end of this game this past week, the win against the Jets. Third down, they call it like a weird play action, and he dirts it when I was thinking just take the sack and run another 40 seconds off the clock. Weird play call from the beginning, but also weird execution by a veteran quarterback. Those things, and I know Bryce hasn't been perfect at it, but those things do take a certain amount of, like, if you're not in the game very often, you lose some of that instinct stuff, and you make those split-second weird decisions that lead to, somehow the Jets got the ball again with a little run. So it's that's what I'd be worried about when it comes to Andy Dalton. I think physically he can, he's not as good as he once was, but he might be as good one week as he ever was. Like, physically, I don't think there's anything that in that playbook I don't think he can do. What I'd be worried about is the things that it's like he doesn't play a lot of football anymore. Where does that rust show up? Where does that rust show up? And, he obviously hasn't been throwing with the ones. I think it was not a surprise that he and Xavier Legette had a little bit of a connection once he got in, because Legette, in his tenure probably has spent some time with the twos. You know what I mean? He and Andy Dalton have probably thrown a decent amount, so you go to what you're comfortable with. I don't know how much Andy Dalton and Tedero McMillan have thrown to each other. Outside of like, hey, let's get one for Andy to make sure you guys know, like at the end of a drill, right after the whistle blows. Let's get one for Andy. Ted, you got one? Like, that's not enough to build a ton of chemistry. And I don't think the offense is good enough to look at one of your best, if not your best offensive player in McMillan and say, well, you're going to be a little less used because Andy isn't as comfortable with you. Like, you need to get that guy his targets anyway. I don't know how much he throws with a Jatavian Sanders or something like that. I just don't know.
I know that Dave Canales did today talk about how, especially last year and different times, where Jalen Coker was running with scout team, in preseason and thing along those lines, and Andy Dalton was running scout team quarterback. So he was actually making passes and making a connection with Jalen Coker, which hopefully Jalen Coker would have a little bit more of an impact than unfortunately he did yesterday in his first game back.
I would, if this is the weird circumstance that gets Jalen Coker immediately thrown into a bigger role, I'm in, because it was very frustrating seeing Jalen Coker be an afterthought this week when the offense was not cranking. I was going like, he can at least do this. You're gonna finish the game with 13 points. Jalen Coker can at least contribute to that. So if Andy Dalton is the one that gets Jalen Coker rolling, then this might be a blessing in disguise if Bryce misses a week. Jalen Coker, I think, has to be a bigger part of that team. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you have Bryce Young thoughts, injury thoughts, Andy Dalton thoughts, Dave Canales thoughts, we want to hear them. At 4:15, we'll open up the phone lines for a little Monday sound-off. If you have Canes thoughts, if you have UNC thoughts, NC State bye week thoughts, Duke thoughts, any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, Heister Automotive Group Hotline will open up at 4:15. Bookmark the number 919-860-5326. We'll let you know when to call. In the meantime, we have the Dean's List coming up next. Stick around.
Fall is here, and so are the savings at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. During our Drive into Fall event, get 20% off any new 2025 Ram 1500. That's right, 20% off one of the toughest trucks on the road. Nothing stops Ram. Or take advantage of 0% APR for 72 months. See dealer for details. You choose how you save, so get off your keister and get to Heister. No one in this area has a better selection to choose from. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Welcome home from Baker Home Exteriors. Your home is not just where you live, it's where life happens. We're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same dedication to your home. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Your home deserves nothing less. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Minso from the shotgun is ready. Here's the snap. He will throw. They bring pressure. He's got time, though. Lofts it. In zone for Barkay. Got it again. Touchdown. His second of the ball game. A little shoulder shake.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So we have Dean's List coming up right here. I do want to let everybody know it's a busy day. Busy day. 4:15 Monday Soundoff. We'll open up the phone lines. You get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Bring up questions, concerns, whatever. At 4:45, we're going to be doing first goal scorer predictions for tonight's Canes game. They are in Vegas, kind of at the midway point of their West Coast road trip. It'll be a 10 p.m. puck drop, which you can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan and the 99.9 The Fan app. Download it now. 5-star ratings are appreciated. The Google Play and App Store.
You said Panther Talk?
And we have Panther Talk.
6 o'clock, right here on The Fan.
That is another thing to add to the list. So that's all coming up, and it's an exciting time. This is what we dream of in the middle of the summer when there's nothing going on. We dream of the days where there's just game after game after exciting game after exciting game.
Is today a sports equinox?
I have no clue. I don't even know what that means.
It's where we have Major League Baseball. No, actually, there's no NBA today. Never mind.
NBA is starting up soon, though.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, I believe.
So Thursday might be.
Yeah, depending on what the World Series is. Yeah, we might have that on Thursday.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, we are. See, we're approaching the sports equinox, folks.
I learn something new every day. With that being said, let's jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we give a few extra accolades to those directly and indirectly related to the college sports world that we care about so much here in the Triangle. I'll get it started. Dean's List. Darian Mensah, the passer. Gotta emphasize that one. Duke's quarterback had himself a day against Georgia Tech. 32 of 44, 373 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That, I've been calling him like a professional quarterback. That is a professional stat line, right? That is I understand why they paid you so much money, passing stat line. Obviously, a fumble return for a touchdown was a brutal one, which changed the game in a different way. That's a lot. That's a lot of volume for Duke's quarterback. 373, which is not his season high, right? He's a guy that has thrown for quite a bit of yardage. He had 389 in his opener against Elon, 334 against Illinois, 313 against Tulane. That's a lot of yards racking up. He's thrown for at least 265 in all 7 games. So the passer, Darian Mensah, ends up on the Dean's List. Dennis, do you have someone you'd like to throw on the Dean's List?
I do.
Let's hear it.
Haynes King, Georgia Tech quarterback. It just seems like every time late in the game you need to grind out yards on the ground, it's Haynes King that's doing it for him. It's just late in that game against Duke, he helped seal that win just by how he ran the football. The dude's a monster. He's a tremendous college football quarterback. I don't think he has any. His skill set doesn't translate to the NFL, and that's okay. But man, as a college quarterback, the dude is awesome.
120 yards from him. It's one of those on the ground, by the way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and I like this. I'm not disrespecting Georgia Tech, but I equate it to like a really good running high school team, where the coach is, you're going like, coach, every play before the snap, they're yelling out, run, 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 and we keep running it, and the coach is looking at you like, I don't care if they know what we're doing it anyway. Like Haynes King, towards the end of a game, it's like they're yelling out quarterback run, they know it's coming, and it's like, well, yeah. He's still averaging 6 yards a carry on this drive, so just keep doing it. And it's the way it works. 27-18 the win for Georgia Tech over Duke. To keep it in the college sports world, another Dean's Lister, Kobe Paysour, 100-yard receiver for UNC versus Cal. There's been some games for UNC where, it felt like as a passing offense, they weren't going to get to 100 yards total. He had 101 yards by himself, 6 catches, a broken coverage in there maybe to help out a little bit, but you accept them and you count the yards all the same. Also, the reason why I threw Kobe Paysour on here specifically, Kobe Paysour has been around a little bit for the UNC Tar Heels, right? He's been around, which means he remembers what it was like. Right? He was catching touchdowns from Drake May at UNC, right? He was benefiting from Omarion Hampton play action. He was getting the third best corner at times because of Tez Walker and J.J. Jones. Now he's out there going, what happened? So I'm glad that he found a way to get a 100-yard game against Cal, which, by the way, brought his season-long total up to 119. So, it was due, if you will. More Dean's Listers. At this point, it's. I think this used to happen with the NBA, where if the Spurs drafted somebody, everybody just kind of went, well, I like that guy. I haven't seen any grainy footage from him playing in some other country, but if the Spurs drafted him, he must be good. Charlie Serrato is going to make the Dean's List like darn near every week now. He is a Canes draft pick in the Canes farm system. He's playing for Penn State. College hockey. He has 15 points this season. You know what that does? Leads the country. 2.5 points per game. You know what that does? Leads the country. 11 assists. You know what that does? Leads the country. He's slacking in goal scoring. He's only 8th in the country. He has 4 goals, tied for 8th in the country. I think that needs to be stepped up.
Slacker.
But obviously Penn State is a good team. They got talent around him. But he's playing good attacking hockey. And, at this rate, he's like 2 more goals away from people saying that he should be called up to the Canes.
Go ahead and sign him now.
Go ahead and sign him now.
Go and sign him that entry-level contract, bud.
Yeah. He's probably...
Tell Gavin McKenna bye. That you need better.
The only thing is he might be making more at Penn State. Not actually, but Penn State, according to reports, it does have a much bigger NIL war chest than any other college hockey team. Enter Gavin McKenna, who's the presumed number 1 pick coming up. They have him over $700,000, which is about an entry-level contract first year in the big. So I'm sure Serrato is not up in State College, living off a stipend. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's getting a little something. But he's earning it. He's number 1 in the country in points. It's pretty good. And last one for the old Dean's List here. Our old friend, Frank Reich.
Oh, Frank.
He is the 1-year head coach of Stanford football. And they defeated Florida State over the weekend.
Yeah, they did.
They got Florida State and said, how you like me now? And you know what's the most impressive part about it?
What's that?
He beat Florida State with really no semblance of a passing game. They played two.
You don't say.
They played two quarterbacks, Ben Goldbranson and Elijah Brown. Each of them completed, at best, 50% of their passes for less than 100 yards. They had one passing touchdown and one interception between the two of them. But they did have a decent running game, or at least from one guy. 28 carries, 118 yards for Cole Tabb. And that was enough. That's all they needed to beat the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida State's 0-4 in the ACC. Remember when they beat Alabama to start the year, and everyone's like, oh, my God, look at them.
They were ranked.
Yeah.
They were the big, like, oh, everybody was wrong about Alabama. Everybody's wrong about Florida State.
Nope.
Maybe not.
Turned out to be just a moment.
They beat Alabama 31-17. Then they were feeling themselves. Beat East Texas A&M 77-3.
There you go.
Decided to roll it up on Kent State 66-10.
Mm-hmm.
Lost at Virginia. Lost to Miami. Lost to Pittsburgh. Lost at Stanford. Wake Forest next.
They might lose to Wake.
Is Wake Forest favored in this one? No. At least, according to ESPN matchup predictor, Florida State has an 84% chance to win. I don't know. If I get enough points, I might be taking the old Demon Deacons. But still, Frank Reich, hey, you know, even if it didn't work out with the Carolina Panthers, he always seemed like a nice guy. So, glad he got a little love there.
Well, this week coming up, I guess might be a bye week for Florida State because Wake Forest is home against SMU.
Oh, so they must have a bye.
Yeah.
It is November 1st. So, yep. November
Lick your
1st.
wounds, Florida State.
That's probably why there's not a spread out yet. That makes more sense. But it is at Florida State, so Wake Forest is going to have to go on the road. Either way, I like to see Florida State, since they sued the ACC, have to pay for their karmic sins a little bit there. And, Stanford said, that's nice. You paid a lot of lawyers. Many of them were probably employed by us at one point, or educated by us at one point. And that does it for the Dean's List. Let's go ahead and dismiss. There it goes. You know what? Florida State might double up. They were kind of beaten up there in the Dean's List. They might be a loser when it comes to winners and losers as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just fun to say. Winners and losers are coming up next. Could be Florida State. See who else makes the winners list and the losers list coming up next.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a go-see. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. With the Federal Reserve cutting rates, the most frequent question we get is, do I wait for rates to go lower, or should I take the savings and just act now? At Miller Lending, we toss all the timing questions aside with our popular no-cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates and refinance again as rates fall. With many economists predicting rates in the 5s next year, why pay upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs just to get a rate you may get for no cost next spring? Imagine the freedom to use that money for more important things than reducing your payment by the extra $50. Recently, we've noticed a trend of related party transactions as some of the nation's largest lenders have bought real estate or mortgage lead sites, driving closing costs even higher. Please don't throw away all that cash or equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. Call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is the right loan for you. 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender on MLS number 250-2146.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Because you guys do everything for the exterior of your home, these things can add up. And there are a lot of people who think, I can't afford this. How can the Aluminum Company make it easier?
Yeah, well, Adam, we have plans that are 12 months, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 12 months, which make it super affordable for people to do anything on their home, whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, gutters, any kind of exterior home improvement. The Aluminum Company has financing plans that can fit in your budget and make it easy.
So wait a second. I can get everything done, no interest, and no payments for 12 months?
Yeah, and You get a lifetime warranty once the project's done.
I get a lifetime warranty once the project is done.
Yes, sir.
What about my down payment?
No down payment, no
What?
deposit.
No down payment, no deposit.
No payment until the project's done.
No payment till the project's done.
Exactly.
Where do I sign up? Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
This is John Wall. The Salvation Army does so much for people right here in Wake County. Join me and 999 The Fan and showing them some love and support. Just trying to help people get housing, try to help people get jobs, try to feed the people as much as possible. I mean, a lot of people don't understand how much help is out there for them. If you go out there looking for it and asking for it, it's a pride thing. We try not to ask questions or try to ask for help, but the Salvation Army is there for them to try to give back as much as possible. So if you're out there looking for some food, some housing, anything like that, you can always depend on the Salvation Army. If you want to help, visit wakearmy.org.
Centered in front, shot, he scores! His second of the game! Jordan Stahl's on fire! A beautiful setup out in front, and the captain can't miss. 2 for 2, 2-0 Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, before we get to winners and losers, some updates here that I think are necessary, and I'm going to come to you for a little bit of context.
Okay.
Walt Ruff of the Canes team reporter tweeted out that at their morning skate out there on the West Coast for the Canes, they obviously played a night, late night against Vegas. Gostisbehere, lower body injury, defenseman who started absolutely on fire this year, did not take part in morning skate, which means it looks like 6'4", 215-pound Charles Alexis Legault is going to slide in to make his NHL debut. One of the, I would say, like, he had always been mentioned in the prospect pool for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
This preseason, he started to really get mentioned as the prospect, one of the prospects in the Carolina Hurricanes organization. What I mean by that is not just as a prospect, but as a guy who might be ready to contribute if need be at the big league club. The way they skated this morning, according to Walt Ruff, it looks like Keandre Miller and Sean Walker as the first pairing, Alexander Nikishin and Jalen Chatfield as the second pairing, and then Mike Riley and Charles Alexis Legault, who are both in there due to injuries with Slavin out, and now it appears as if Gostisbehere will be out as well. What do we need to know about Legault? I guess that's the context I'm looking for, is if you're a casual fan who isn't watching a ton of like AHL and prospect hockey, what's the Legault impact of him sliding into the lineup?
Well, big body guy, like you mentioned, 6'4", 215. So you're going to add size. Because Shane Gostisbehere is not the biggest defenseman out there, but actually someone who I think in the first game for Chicago this year dropped the mitts, dropped the gloves. I would not be surprised if he tries to make an impact in the game in some way, shape, or form in that regard. But a guy that could skate really well, super physical. I mean, he's an up-and-comer. I don't expect Rob Brind'Amour to play him more than 10 minutes tonight if he can avoid it. I would not be shocked if you look at the time on ice at the end of the game and he has about 8 minutes. Do not be surprised with that. I expect Rod to roll with 5. Pretty much roll with 5 guys.
Now, here's the other interesting part. Obviously, Gostisbehere out's going to affect the power play. Does Nikishin get some power play 2 minutes? Because that is one of the things that I think fans are clamoring for, is just what, like, I'm not saying that they're anti the guys up there, but I do think it's like, I want to see what that be like. Like, just I want to see Nikishin on the power play. How exciting is that?
I think you'll see Keandre Miller go out to power play number 1, and I expect Nikishin to be on that second power play unit for sure. And the power play as a whole needs a shake-up. We've already seen Jackson Blake move up to the top power play unit and Andrei Svechnikov go to the second unit. So we've already seen that flip already. Would not be surprised if it's an opportunity, or that Rod takes this opportunity to try and figure something out, because with all the talent and all the scoring that the Canes are doing, 1 power play goal this year?
I think if there's anywhere where a change could legitimately be earned, like, I don't think Gostisbehere or Slavin's job is up for grabs in any sense of the word. But if there is something where, like, hey, remember that injury that opened up, like, Nikishin to prove that he's worthy of power play 2 or worthy of some more time on power play, that's one of the few things that I think could stick even after some guys come back.
For sure.
If you have thoughts on the Canes, we will open up the phone lines at 4:15 for Monday Soundoff. Anything you want to talk about, Canes, college football, Panthers, obviously. 4:15, Heister Automotive Group hotline will be open. We'll give you the number right about that time. Now let's jump into winners and losers.
This team will never lose again.
Winners and losers. I'll get us started, as I often do. Winners, a couple of them. Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis. I'm going to give you the point streaks by number, okay? Game 1, 11 players had a point. So 11 players were on a streak, if you will. Game 2, 8 of those 11 kept their point streaks alive. Game 3, 8 of those 8 kept their point streaks alive. Game 4, 5 of those 8 kept their point streaks alive. Through 5 games, 2. Aho and Jarvis. And it kind of proves, right, both ends of the spectrum. It's good to have depth, it's good to have everybody, but the guys whose faces are on the poster for a reason. You had some hot starts from guys like Robinson and Martinook and Nikishin. You had some hot starts from Gostisbehere, and then at the end, the only guys that have produced a point in every game through your 5-game winning streak to open the season, the low odds guys. You wouldn't have gotten paid out high. Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis. So they're winners. Loser, the ACC. Miami losing to Louisville stings.
A little bit.
You needed that one, the flag bearer all the way in the top 5. Side loser involved in that losing, Miami quarterback Carson Beck. You can't throw your wide receivers under the bus saying, oh, that 4th interception, they ran the wrong route, which is what he did post-game. Your 4th interception, I think you just got to eat those. You just got to wear that accountability. As somebody that has thrown 4 interceptions in a college game, not nearly as high profile or high stakes, so maybe 1/100th of the eyeballs, maybe 1/1000th. I'm not pretending it's the same, but after 4 interceptions, you just got to that post-game presser is just going to stink, and you're going to have to get through it. You can't be throwing out excuses. Dennis, you have some winners and losers.
A few.
All right.
Mostly on the loser side of things.
Yeah, it happens.
College football coaches that are getting fired.
You think they're losers?
I mean, well, yeah, you lost your job, which is kind of a stinky thing. So
didn't lose their salary in many cases, though.
No, not really. Billy Napier, the head coach at Florida, got fired over the weekend. The Colorado State head coach got fired. James Franklin's already been fired. I think there's up to pretty much 10 coaches already this season. It's mid-October, have already been fired. 10 coaches already.
And there's a handful more that it feels like just a formality at this point, but they're not fired yet.
Which goes into my next one, which is Mike Norvell in Florida State football.
Loser or winner?
Losers.
Okay.
Because Florida State Athletic Director Michael Alford actually said the school is fully committed to Mike Norvell this season, and a, quote, comprehensive assessment of the program will be concluded at season's end, which basically means we'll fire him in November. That's basically what you're saying.
It's the coaching thing. And by the way, I had Florida State as a loser as well.
Yeah.
It's the coach, like, he is our starter right now.
Yeah, he's our starter right now.
Fully committed to him this season, which means, like, they could fire him the day after this season and go, I did not lie. I was 100% honest. There's no flip-flopping here. I said this season. If you read back the court reporting, I did not perjure myself.
Yep.
Like, it's that obvious. But I guess maybe if he goes on an undefeated streak from here on in, he could make it more difficult.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Or make him more attractive for his next job.
I don't know, he's got like a $53 million buyout, something like that?
Yes, 53 for him, 63 plus for he and his assistant coaches.
Jeez.
But I think they saved $2 million by letting him coach the rest of the season.
Because they got to pay him the rest.
Because his salary this year is guaranteed. So if they, like, it's in buyout, it's less. So you don't have to come up with that whole check at once.
Yeah.
Let's go with a winner. How about a winner here? Ready? Winner, the West Coast. I just feel like every game I want to watch over the last like 2 weeks is started at 10 o'clock. And the West Coast, that's 7, right? They're out there. They're getting nice full nights of sleep. They're just chilling. Canes played at 10, 10, 9, and tonight at 10. UNC at 10:30 on whatever it was, Friday night. NC State played at Cal a while ago, 10. Monday Night Football tonight. They have a game that starts at 10. Why are we catering to the West Coast? We've always been East Coast bias. Keep it that way. I want to be in bed before 2 a.m. one of these nights.
Like you said, Canes tonight.
10 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's going to be 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock p.m., and I'm going to have to go double screen because multiple games are starting at 10 p.m. on a Monday night. It's a school night.
If anyone out there that plays beer league hockey like myself and Max Gorin, who occasionally fills in over here on this show, we actually played each other last night at 10:45. Men's league hockey game, 10:45 p.m. puck drop.
If I was in your hockey league, you would have gotten a polite text about 3 o'clock that afternoon. I don't think I'm going to make it, fellas. Good luck.
You would not make any game.
Let me know how the score. Let me know how the score is.
You would not make a single game if that's the case.
10:45 is the earliest.
Sometimes you get a 9:15.
I can make a 9:15.
Yeah,
I can make a 9. As long as there's no games I have to watch on, I can make a 9:15. More winners and losers. Winner, Drake May.
Yeah.
So his stat line is enough to make him a winner from this past weekend, right? The Patriots won again. He went 21 of 23 for 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, also ran for 60+.
That's insane.
It's a good day. But here's the reason he's actually a winner. 91.3% completion. Sets the highest single-game completion percentage by a Patriot. There's another guy that was a Patriot for a very long time.
Jim Plunkett?
Sure. Steve Grogan? Absolutely. Also Tom Brady.
Oh, him.
When you start setting in your second year franchise records and you're one of the franchises that have one of those dudes, and Tom Brady is one of them ones, maybe one of the one, that's pretty good. So when you're breaking when Drake May is breaking Tom Brady records with the Patriots, yeah, you're going to be a winner. Shout out to UNC. I'm sure they tweeted about it this time because, they got yelled at last time. This is a fun loser. Ready? Loser, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen worked his way to Minnesota, right? I don't know if he had demanded a trade, but it was obvious he wanted it, right? Wife tweeting about it or Instagramming about it. Then once he got to Minnesota, he agreed to take a pay cut. So he gave up millions of dollars that he would have made if he was in Carolina. He's caught 5 passes for 47 yards in 6 games for Minnesota. Meanwhile, guess what? Minnesota's 3-3, last in their division. The Panthers are 4-3, second in their division. Picked the wrong side of that one, didn't you, Adam? Huh? And also, side note, I'll let you guys try to figure it out. I saw a promotion video from maybe the NHL, maybe his team, but it was I'm blanking on his name. The guy you want, the center you want.
Tage Thompson?
Tage Thompson. I think it was Tage Thompson. They asked all the players, the NHL guys, what the name of their fantasy football team was, and I believe it was Tage Thompson. Went Thielen, and then they blacked out they covered his lips so you couldn't lip read it, and they bleeped it out. So I don't know what he said, but there's some dirty pun about Adam Thielen's last name. That is the name of a fantasy football team by a NHL player. So that's just not great if you're So you got Thielen on your team, you named your team after him, and he's got 5 catches. Not a great day all around. You end up on the loser group. And this will be the last one because it's going to lead into our football at 4. Winners, J.C. Horn and Derek Brown. Because they were really gosh darn good over the weekend. And that will lead us into our football at 4, where we talk Panthers beating the Jets, winners and losers complete. And that will bring us, as I said, to football at 4 coming up next right here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. Fall in North Carolina, as we know, means crisp nights, football Saturdays, and big savings with the Red Tag Sales event going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes. It's the best time of the year to buy your dream home. And right now, prices are slashed. You can save thousands on select in-stock homes. These are move-in ready homes with huge markdowns, but only while supplies last. Like a strong defense on the field, Clayton-built homes are made to keep you covered. Designed with energy efficiency in mind, you will stay cozy this fall, comfortable year-round, and save money on bills. Check out Clayton and Oakwood Homes to see fully furnished models, explore your options, and lock in savings. And don't wait. These homes are priced to move, and when they're gone, they're gone. The Red Tag Sale going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes locations and online at theredtagsale.com. Terms and conditions for the Red Tag Sales event at theredtagsale.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through 12/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available within certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Atlantic Spas and Billiards wants to invite you to our newly remodeled showroom on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. More Tilo saunas for both inside and outside on display. Special pricing on hot spring and Caldera hot tubs through the end of October. A larger game table selection and a full dart and billiard cue pro shop. Great selection of Kamado Joe GMG pellet grills on sale now. This new showroom will knock your socks off. Atlantic Spas and Billiards, 8721 Glenwood Avenue and Market Street, Wilmington. AtlanticSBNC.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Good-looking forecast for us as we're starting off this beautiful work week. 71 degrees under mostly sunny skies. 46 tonight, so a bit on the crisp side, but warmer tomorrow. We'll see a high of 77, again under sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check if your money. Dow Jones up 507 points to 46,698.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Panthers are above 500. I'm going to say that as many. I just want to enjoy that. I'm just going to say it a lot of times. In 4:15, if you want to say it, you can. We'll open up the phone lines for Monday Soundoff. Bookmark the number if you want. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326.
I think it's been since 2019 that through week 7 they've been above 500.
Yeah, I've seen, I don't know which stats there were. A lot has been since 2019. A lot has been since 2021.
Yeah.
So it's been a while regardless. They're above 500. Enjoy it. They're 5-3. Or sorry, 4-3. Trying to get to 5-3 against Buffalo this weekend, but they're 4-3. Regardless, they're going to make it to 8 games. Used to be the midway point, but with 17, they're going to make it to the 8-game mark, 500 or better. Right? Enjoy that. And then start looking around for how, what, why, right? What caused it? Why are they this good? Why are they better than they've been in the past? Because I can put all the context I want on it, and you can as well. Well, the teams they're playing aren't great. Oh, they caught these 2 teams without players that were hurt. All this context. But guess what? In years past, they've played teams that were facing injuries. They've played bad teams, and they've lost to those teams. So if all they do for the rest of the year is beat the teams they're supposed to beat, it'll be the best team they've had in quite some time. Okay, so be excited. Now who's causing it? Defensively, it's the Stars. Defensively, it's as planned. Defensively, the Dan Morgan and the front office are what I call seeing the field, right? They're seeing it well. Offensively, I think a bit of it is kind of like a surprise, right? It's like, Corbett goes down. Cade Mays is playing great. Happy accident, right? Chuba Hubbard gets hurt. Rico Dowdle becomes one of the best running backs in the league. Happy accident. Defense, it's like, no, we paid this guy to be the best player on the team. J.C. Horn is playing like the best player on the team. We paid this guy at the time to be the best player on the team. Derek Brown is playing like one of the best players on the team. And it goes on and on. Trevon Merrick had a big game this weekend. He's a guy they brought in as a free agent to have big games when you needed stops. Nick Scorton had a big game. Nick Scorton is a guy you drafted in the second round, the top defensive player you drafted to step in and have big games. Like, the defense is operating as intended. Derek Brown and J.C. Horn are leading a defense that could look at the offense and literally say, just don't mess us up. Right? When they're crossing after jogging off the field and jogging on, when the offense and defense are crossing, the defense could have been this weekend 100% serious and said, hey, punt it and we're good. And that is a huge, massive weight off of everybody's shoulders. And the few times they did get a little... like, oh, look at this. The Jets have a little something going. J.C. Horn was there to make a play. J.C. Horn's interceptions. First of all, I want to say this, and I've said this in the past. The only knock on J.C. Horn in his career has been health. When healthy, he's been really good. And some of you might say, well, he doesn't have the statistics. He has not been in the situation. Right? One of the stats that I brought up, which was true quite a bit until this week, that Bryce Young had 9 career wins, whatever it was. 8 of them had been game-winning drives in the fourth quarter and overtime. That all adds up to the Panthers almost never in the last 3 years played with a lead. The Falcons game, kind of the standout game, right? But they almost never played with a lead, which means J.C. Horn has been out there trying to keep up with other elite defensive backs without ever having a quarterback that had to force the issue playing against him. This weekend, what happened? They had a nice little lead. They were ahead. So Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields, these guys had to start taking chances, and as soon as they did, what happened? J.C. Horn made 2 interceptions. He's been waiting a long time for the Panthers to get a 3rd and 12 late in the game with a 2-score lead. Because that's when a player like J.C. Horn can really, put his seal on the game. And then Derek Brown. And I'm going to let you know how underrated Derek Brown is. I'm going to let you know, and this is an anecdotal, just happened to me today. So occasionally in this business, on the week of a big game, somebody, a media entity from the opposing team's market, will reach out and say, like, hey, we want to do a... what are they bringing to the table segment? Can you come talk about the Panthers? So a Buffalo sports, I won't put them on blast here, a Buffalo podcast or whatever show.
Say their name. It's fine.
I think it's Buffalo Plus is what it was called.
All right.
They called me up, said, hey, let's talk about it. And I was like, sure. We talked about it, and they were super up on all the Bryce drama. They were super up on Tedero McMillan, and they had all Rico Dowdle. What's going on there? Then we got to the defense. And the way they posed the Derek Brown question was, Derek Brown, these last 2 games, what has it been, a light coming on situation for Derek Brown? I was like, 2 years ago, he broke the NFL record for most tackles by an interior defensive lineman. This is not a light coming on situation for Derek Brown. It is what happens when an elite talent hits their prime. They add little things to their game, but they were already really, really good, right? And we've been talking about it since the offseason. I said Derek Brown is an all-pro if he can get to 6 sacks because his run-stuffing ability is already league standard, right? Already best of the best. But you're not going to get that all-pro nod. You're not going to get that, super-duper hype, NFL top 100 love unless you have at least a little bit of pass rush. Guess what happened against the Jets? He started putting together some of the stats that are going to make people like Buffalo recognize, oh, he is really good, right? Rather than, what's going on here? What a big game from Derek Brown. I'm sitting here going, the only difference is he got home on a couple sacks. Right? 7 tackles, that makes sense. He had 100 and something the other year. A couple of quarterback hits, that makes sense. He's a big dude with a relentless motor. 3 pass breakups, he's a big dude in the middle. If you put a quarterback out there that isn't, 6'5", laser rocket arm thrown over the top, he's going to get his hands on the ball a few times. But he got 2 sacks. And that is the difference. That is other people will notice rather than just those that are watching the Panthers. It's not some gigantic, oh my goodness, Derek Brown is playing astronomically better. It's if Derek Brown gets home on 6 to 8 sacks this year, I think he's an all-pro. And he's got 3 of them through this point in the season.
Most in a single season in his career was 2021, his second year in the league, he had 3.
So he's already tied his season best. And there's still a long way to go. That's a superstar doing what superstars should do at this point in their career. Adding just that one more thing that takes them from really good franchise cornerstone to everybody's going to know your name. Everybody's going to know your name. And because those two, right, I do think it all starts with them, and it has to when you're paying them as much money as the Panthers are paying them. When J.C. Horn is doing what he's doing and Derek Brown is doing what he's doing, it makes everyone else's job easier. Because now Nick Scorton's getting to the quarterback. Right now, Trayvon Merritt gets to blitz from the sky at a safety position and get to the quarterback and get tackles behind the line. And why? Well, because you're comfortable putting J.C. Horn on an island, because you're comfortable with Derek Brown beating double teams. Like everyone else gets to have more opportunities to make plays because your stars are playing like stars. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? They're playing well enough that even when the offense scores 13 points, you're ahead in the fourth quarter. And why is that a big deal? Because now the opposing team has to, despite the fact that they don't have quarterbacks that they trust throwing the ball a ton, they have to drop back and sling it, which gives them more opportunity to make the type of plays that they made. And then because they make those plays, it gets better, and then it just keeps coming around and around and around. And you get them in that same bit of quicksand that the Panthers offense has lived in for the last 2 years, only now you're doing it to them. Tell me Justin Fields, both pre-injury and then pre-benching, didn't have the look on his face that Bryce had a few times last year. Of that, yeah, I'm trying hard. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little frozen back here. I got hit again. I'm a little frozen back here. Threw it in the dirt. I thought that was a good throw. How did he intercept it with one hand and get his feet down in the end zone? That's bad luck. I think that defense, and you know, I named a couple guys, but really, if you just looked at like the highest paid players on the defense and went down in order, it was almost like that was the order of which they played really well. That's really good roster management. It's really good roster management is we paid the guys that went out there and helped us win a football game. Now, obviously, consistency is what matters the most.
Sure.
You got to do it over and over again. But that defense deserves all the credit in the world for that win. And it allowed the offense, right? Because then you look at the offense and go, well, they only scored 13, which is not okay, and it's never going to be okay. And I'm sure behind closed doors, the offense is having some real honest conversations. But there was a point where you could tell last night they just thought, if we don't turn this ball over, I think we're good. And Bryce Young started dirting everything, right? If he didn't love the way he saw it, he was going to skip it 5 yards before the receiver. And Andy Dalton did a bit of that until they felt like they needed, one more first down, and they found it. But the defense, it changes the algorithm. It changes the math for an offense. It changes the math for a coach. Changes the way you use timeouts, changes the way you run the clock, changes everything when you have your guys playing like that. And now it becomes, can you do it again? Now it becomes, can you do it again?
So, speaking along the lines of Derek Brown, I love this comparison by Brandon in our YouTube live chat.
Let's hear it.
Said it reminds him, Brandon, of the NHL or people around the NHL ignoring Jacob Slavin. Then suddenly he gets all the shine at Four Nations, and we're all looking around like, yeah, we know he's great. Where have you been?
It is. It's very similar. And especially because in that case, probably points and sacks would be the it's like because you don't have that one thing that people box score watch, you're not going to get the national love. Because Slavin does 95% unbelievable. The 5% is just he's not a great point accumulator. And Derek Brown does 95% great. The 5% he doesn't do is he doesn't always get home for sacks. And just having low totals in that category, that column, feels like it holds both of them back, like 5 tiers, right? When they should be probably lower first tier at their position, like lower top tier with room to grow. They're seen as like third or fourth or fifth tier when it's like, no. You just don't know, which is always kind of fun to say, by the way. Like if Jacob Slavin and Derek Brown are like our little garage band, right? Like, oh, you haven't heard? I got them on cassette, and they're just fantastic. And we're all aware that at one point they're going to be playing arenas, and we're going to be, oh yeah, we've been chilling with Derek Brown since 2023.
I saw him live.
Yeah, exactly. I saw him in it was 40 seat theater.
Yeah.
It was a dive bar.
It's at Neptune's downtown.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think of like Slavin and Derek Brown. They're going to be playing arenas. Everybody's going to get there. But for right now, they're the last couple of shows where it's just it's our band, our garage band. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have Monday Soundoff coming up if there's something you want to sound off on. I will give you that phone number in just a minute, but first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, what if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all your high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Monday Soundoff is coming up next. So we will open up the phone lines right now. Heaster Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in now with whatever you want to talk about. Canes, Panthers, college football, anything. 919-860-5326. You get to drive the show if you call in. Heaster Automotive Group hotline, Monday Soundoff, next.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Vegas.
Now out in front, Nikishin, he scores! Welcome to the National, his first NHL goal.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 9:30. Puck drop at 10.
The chance for Jarvis looking for the hat trick right on. Rebound out front, they score! Sebastian Aho!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Hello, I'm John Heaster for John Heaster Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. And you know, people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heaster.
Now at John Heaster Chevrolet, get up to $12,000 off a new 2025 Silverado 1500. Includes trade assistance. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, Chili Lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit. On game day, great prep makes all the difference. Same goes for your pizza.
That's why I go with Frigidaire Stone-Baked Pizza Oven. Fresh pizzas go from dough to done in just 2 minutes.
Whether you're throwing a party or squeezing in dinner between plays, this oven delivers hot, crispy, restaurant-quality pizza right from your kitchen. Only from Frigidaire. Game-ready pizza. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to open up the phone lines. Little Monday sound off. Many of you are already lined up on the lines. We appreciate it. If you didn't get through, keep calling. Lines will open up as the session goes along. Heister Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. First up, Anthony in Durham wants to sound off on the Panthers. Anthony, welcome to the show. The floor is yours.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Appreciate you guys taking me on the call. Great win yesterday. It was nice to see the defense step up again. I know it's the Jets, but I actually have a question. It's going towards next year, actually. Seeing how Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard are playing together as this 1-2 combo, I just want to know where this leaves Jonathan Brooks next year, somewhere in the rotation.
All right, I appreciate the call, and thank you for the time. The Jonathan Brooks of it all is really, I don't want to say inconsequential, but you're not banking on anything from Jonathan. He has multiple pretty serious knee injuries in the last 2 years, hasn't played a significant amount of football in a while. I think it is very much we still got him on his rookie contract, so let's keep him around and see what happens. If he develops into something fantastic, if he doesn't, bummer. But I'm not banking on Jonathan Brooks being a part of the future. He's very much a hope for the best, prepare for the absolute nothing. Back to the Heister Automotive Group hotline. And by the way, I get why people were excited about him. His film at Texas was exciting, but the running backs with multiple big knee injuries takes a while. Let's go to Isaiah in Wake Forest. Isaiah is up next on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Wants to also sound off on the Panthers. Isaiah, welcome to the show. Go ahead and take it away.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Well, first, great win yesterday. I mean, maybe not great. Good win yesterday.
Every win is great. Every win is great, but I understand what you're saying.
Winning record, so I'll take that. The defense playing great again, held Breece Hall to under 100 yards. Justin Fields looked awful. But my point that I wanted to come on here and emphasize is I understand it was the first week, so I was fine with it. Chuba Hubbard gets 11 carries, and Rico Dowdle got 14. So Rico Dowdle got more. But you can clearly see that Rico is just clearly more efficient with the ball. Chuba might not be 100% yet, but you saw how Bijan Robinson ran all on top of Buffalo. And the only way we're going to be able to beat Buffalo next week is if we have an effective run game and the defense can stop James Cook. And I don't think Chuba Hubbard has that explosiveness that Rico Dowdle has. So I think Rico is going to have to get at least 20-plus carries for us to even have a chance on the offensive side of the ball.
All right.
Against the Bills. Thanks.
I appreciate the call, and I'll build off that a little bit. Thank you for the call, Isaiah. Here's how I would handle the running backs now. And I like many of you, I had no problem just like from a moral standpoint or principle standpoint with Chuba getting the quote unquote start. But about halfway through the first quarter, it's like, oh, Rico's got more pop right now, right? And you have to be able to make that adjustment. I think you treat Chuba like a backup running back from now on. And what that means is you give Rico the carries he can have and you think he's best effective with. And when he needs a break, when he reels off a big run, when he has 4 straight carries and needs a breather, you put in Chuba. And if Chuba does really, really well with those carries, you build up his responsibilities, right? It's just like you would have done with Rico in reverse. If Chuba's not 100%, fine. let him show me over time that he's getting back to what he was, and if he's reeling off first downs, you build that way. But for right now, that backfield is Rico Dowdle's backfield, if you ask me. We go to Nick in High Point, wants to sound off on Bryce Young specifically. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open. If you want to call in, 919-860-5326. Nick in High Point, as I said, up next. Nick, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, man. How you doing? Big fan of the show. I just wanted to I want to call out Dan Morgan specifically. I hope he hears this, which he probably won't. But if you can do anything at all to make this team win, it is to not pay Bryce Young an extension. And the reason being is I see a lot of fans online arguing and trying to cover for Bryce Young, and I love the guy. I have a Bryce Young jersey and everything, but you don't trade up that many assets to get a guy that the offensive scheme totally protects him because he's so limited. Bryce Young has a very easy job based off of what he's told to do. If he goes and tries to run these other offenses in the league, more explosive ones, I don't think he would be quite successful. I think that he's totally protected. We have a good offensive line this year. We have double trouble running backs. We have two number one overall pick wide receivers, and it's like he's throwing for $150 a game. And, he's not turning the ball over. We don't need him to. But if we're going to win down the line, we can't pay this guy. We're just going to lose out on the rest of our roster where we're actually pretty good. His ceiling is average, unfortunately. The other thing, Tim, I'm just very curious. You always have a very good perspective. Us Carolina fans are very delusional sometimes. Are you a Panthers fan? Or are you, and you don't have to answer this, but if you're not a Panthers fan, you can kind of see through all of the smoke, while us Carolina Panthers fans will always try to throw some makeup on it,
I thank you for the call. We'll talk Bryce here in a second. I'll answer your second question first, though, so appreciate it. Call back in anytime. I wouldn't call myself a Panther fan. I am a person that roots for the Panthers, which might be a small little disconnect. I'd like it to give you my full fan background in 30 seconds or less. When I was like 9, I was a front runner, so I picked whoever was good, and that was right at the tail end of John Elway and Terrell Davis in Denver.
Most kids do.
So I was a Denver Broncos fan. When I got to college, I started having teammates and things in the NFL, and then my cousin played for 10 years in the NFL, so it became really awkward where, like, if my friend was playing against Denver, I was rooting hard against Denver, so I kind of dropped fandom. And since then, I just go where I'm professionally invested. It is much more fun. I'm going to talk about the Panthers every day all football season. It's much more fun when they're good, so I'm rooting like heck for the Carolina Panthers to be good. And I do think that gives me a little bit of objectivity, like the caller said, to see maybe not through that particular shade of blue glasses. But I do get caught up, don't get me wrong. With that being said, Bryce Young, the should you pay Bryce, should you not pay Bryce conversation, which is kind of gotten started by that caller. I know we reference it a lot. It doesn't have to be decided yet. You can't give him an extension until the end of this season. You're not allowed to. So don't make a decision before you could potentially get there. It's like in sales, right? Don't take a no from someone that can't say yes. All right, you can't say yes yet, so don't say no. He's going to start the rest of this year. I see absolutely no reason for when he's healthy, him not starting the rest of this year. So gather all that information, and who knows? Maybe the answer is a maybe, and you take it another year. You pick up his fifth-year option. If we had to choose right now, I'm not giving him an extension, but I don't have to choose right now. So I'm not saying that out loud, unless I just did. Let's go back to the call-in line. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in with whatever you want to talk about. This is not just Panthers. This could be Canes. It could be anything. Matter of fact, it could be ACC football. Robert in Raleigh, next up, wants to sound off on the ACC. Robert, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I haven't called in a few weeks because of all the positive Panther stuff and the negative UNC stuff, letting some other people get on.
All right.
I'm going to talk briefly about ACC, and I'll listen to your comments offline. The only two people hearing my voice that will understand this call are you and Dennis, okay?
Okay.
Anyone who thought last year's Florida State football team was a fluke, guess again, because Florida State is in a three-way race to the bottom of the ACC. This year, with the $10 million Chapel Hill bill and the Fran Brown coach make my team run sprints after a win, Syracuse Orange. However, the sump pump position of the ACC is firmly in the grasp of the Boston College Eagles, who lost at home as a favorite against a non-power conference school. Congratulations to the bottom dwellers. Thank you for my time.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, it's not great. Boston College is they've lost a bunch in a row.
It's because no Tommy Castellanos, right?
Yeah,
he's at Florida State.
If you asked Tommy Castellanos, they would have won, I don't know, one more game with Tommy Castellanos, because he's on a 4-game winning streak or losing streak too with Florida State.
Jeez.
Yeah, the bottom of the ACC is kind of rough. If you go if you look all the way at the bottom of the ACC, it's kind of rough, which is not great for the conference overall. It's part of the struggle is the good teams don't get a ton of opportunities for big wins. Which is why it was so imperative that Georgia Tech and Duke, that game was such a big game. And it's why, the few opportunities you have to play another ranked opponent, you got to take advantage of them, because you're also going to get your wins over Boston College and Syracuse and Virginia Tech. And obviously North Carolina is not going to give you a big win this year. And it's ugly down at the bottom. Let's go back to the call-in line as we continue to take Monday sound-off calls on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Our good friend, Linda in Roanoke, calling in, wants to sound off on the Canes. Linda's always welcome. Linda, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Thank you. I want to sound off on the Canes record. That 12-15 game was a little bit late for me, but I stayed out for the whole damn thing because, I'm a big Jarvis fan. And I really wanted to sound out, I don't know if he listens to your show or not, but a huge congratulations on being the only player that has scored the winning goal in 4 out of 5 games in the NHL.
Linda, from your voice, hopefully Seth Jarvis does hear it, because that is absolutely bananas. And we hadn't even referenced the stat yet today, but it's one that's worth mentioning. And as I said last time we talked, I think the reason Seth Jarvis is off to such a superstar start is because you got the Seth Jarvis jersey and you're passing along all those good vibes.
Yeah, but I'm also superstitious. My daughter Debbie asked me if I wore the jersey for the game, and I said no, because I've not worn the jersey at all during the game, because I'm afraid it'll make them lose.
All right, Linda. Well, keep doing what you're doing. That's all I can say. And obviously, we're thinking of you in your fights and everything else you have going on. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck to the Canes tonight.
There it is. One of our favorite callers, Linda, fighting some health issues and also right there in the trenches with the Canes every game. And her favorite player is Seth Jarvis, which her stat that she brought up is true. He is the first player in NHL history to have the game-winning goal in 4 of the first 5 games to start a season, and 2 of them being overtime. I've said this a few times. I am really looking forward to, kind of in the Derek Brown, Jacob Slavin way, everybody in the world just changing the way they think of Seth Jarvis, and every Canes fan going, yeah, we knew. But he's going to put up, it looks like, one of those point totals or goal totals that makes people in other markets go, whoa. And we're going to go, yeah, we already knew that. But thank you again to Linda for the call. Derek in Morganton is up next, wants to sound off on the Panthers. Derek in Morganton, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim, thanks for having me. I just wanted to say a good win for the Panthers. That was a great performance from the defense. And I wanted to say, so I think that we all can agree with how bad the Jets are. That game shouldn't have been a one-score game with, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, especially because we had a lot of good field position in the second half. And whether or not how Andy plays with Bryce, he's not the franchise guy yet. I think that a lot of us can agree, unless you just are a Bryce fan. And so I'm going to say right now, kind of in line with what Dennis and Chris were saying, that Bryce needs someone to challenge him. We should go out and
we should go out and get Jameis because he's just sitting over there with the Giants, and I think that it would at least make the games entertaining.
All right, thank you for the call. Jameis would darn sure make the game entertaining, Derek. Obviously, he's referencing Panther Playbook, a podcast hosted by our very own Dennis Cox and Chris Lee from WRAL.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, were you advocating for Jameis?
We weren't advocating for Jameis, no, but something that Chris did say, Chris Lee from WRL TV on our Panthers Playbook yesterday postgame was that he had said it even previously that Dan Morgan and Dave Canales talk about having competition at every single position on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
But the one spot where there hasn't been competition has been at quarterback. It really hasn't. I mean, let's be honest. Like Andy Dalton was obviously put in for Bryce Young last year, but that competition in terms of challenging for a spot isn't there. If you're not able to go get somebody this offseason that you feel like can maybe be a franchise guy through the draft or whatever it might be, then maybe you do need to bring in kind of like what the Colts did with Daniel Jones, something along those lines. Someone to challenge your incumbent to be that starter and push that person. Be like, hey, look, your spot ain't secure here. Don't get comfortable.
That's an interesting conversation. I'd like to have it out with Chris. Maybe we'll have him on the show. That's. I think quarterback is different, is what I'll say, than other positions when you're doing the whole iron sharpens iron. But it's worth mentioning. If Andy plays well, I'm fascinated. Then all of a sudden, I think this whole season becomes a real interesting social experiment. If Andy throws for 250, 220, 2 touchdowns, and they beat Buffalo, little tornado action happening there. I don't know what everybody's going to say. Back to the call-in line. Nick in Clayton wants to sound off on youth sports. And this is an interesting little tagline. Nick, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, appreciate it. Big fan of the show. I just wanted to ask, what is your opinion in general of like youth travel ball leagues, especially baseball? Growing up where I was from, we had like all-stars in the summer and then a little bit of American Legion in the summer, but we didn't have like all year round travel ball experience really. So I was just seeing what's your opinion on it and how old do you think the kids should be before they start?
I appreciate the call. This is a conversation I've had a lot recently with friends and family because their kids are hitting that age. My kids have not. My oldest is 4.5, so we're not there yet. So I don't want to speak as an expert, but I think they're overdoing it in a lot of ways. I think the travel ball is getting to a place where it's too expensive, too much traveling. What happened? Like, here's my biggest question here. We're sitting here in the Triangle, right? Aren't there a billion good kid athletes like within 45 minutes of where I'm sitting right now? Why does everyone have to go to Florida for tournaments when I'm like, you could get a bunch of really good players, really gosh darn close, and go have really high level. If you want the highest of the high level juniors or whatever, it has to be around here. I think the number one thing, and this is how I hope, and just to build off what the caller said, I've had conversations with people that have said exactly what I'm going to say here, and then I see them almost have no choice but to buy into whatever the mechanism and the crazy machine that youth sports is and put their kids in it because they don't want their kids to be left behind or not be in the cool group or whatever. It's a decision. I hope I lead with my kids enjoying it. That's what I really like. I played college football. I don't think I'm nearly as good a player if I didn't really love the sport. I almost want to have little checkpoints like, if you're not coming home from work and your kid is already playing the sport by themselves with their friends, working on it on their own, right? If you're not already seeing them kind of own it and enjoy it, forcing them to go to I don't know. It's tough. I'm not going to act like I have the right answer because parenting is tough and I haven't done it yet.
I'll talk about it because I don't have kids, but I'll talk about it from a perspective of a former college coach that used to have to recruit high school players and things along those lines, and actually someone that used to coach some of these summer teams, but I coached high school level players when I was doing this summer club teams and all that kind of stuff. I have seen so many tremendous athletes get burned out from their sport because of, hey, at age 9 or age 10, again, I coach lacrosse, they're doing the summer travel circuits and going on all these different camps and things along those lines. By the time they get to 16, they're like, I've been doing this so much, I'm tired of it. I'm just sick of it. I've seen so many great players just completely leave their sport. And I think it's also, this is a byproduct of what we're seeing now just in sports in general, is there's a lot of different layers to this where You see athletes that specialize in just one thing, and then we also wonder why we see so many pitchers now in baseball have blown out arms. Some of them are like 22 years old or even younger than that. Tommy John surgery. It's like, well, why are you throwing 300 innings in a season at age 11? Like, no wonder your arm's falling apart. Kids don't play multiple sports. They don't get the opportunity to go enjoy their sports. And like you said, keeping it local. Sports, unfortunately, at the youth level has just become a racket. It's pay for play.
Money. Yep.
It's pay for play. And it really is unfortunate because there are too many kids or too many families that put way too much money into the sport, hoping to get a big return on investment, and more than likelihood they don't.
I've said this a bunch. Like, I think me as a 12-year-old, I was so into sports that my parents could have driven me to every travel. I would have loved it. But I also know not every kid was that way, and you have to know, right? Like, if they'd rather be playing music, rather be hanging out with their friends, like, I think that's important as well. It's just certain kids are psychos like I was. And then the last part is I think you're a better athlete if you play more sports.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I'm a better quarterback because I had to slide my feet playing basketball defense in front of kids that were faster than me. Like, I think that matters. Hand-eye coordination is better because I played baseball. Like, all those things. Speed, right? I ran track in high school. Like, I think all of that adds up and makes you a better athlete overall.
I didn't play one sport until my sophomore year in college.
Well, I specialized in college. But that's a different beast. I played at least 2 sports every year until I got to my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
Most of the time 3, sometimes 4. We have 2 more callers here. They've been waiting patiently. I could talk about youth sports forever, by the way. If there's a youth sports podcast out there, you want thoughts and the good and the bad of youth sports, I will come on and give you an hour. Barry and Selma is up next. Barry wants to sound off on the ACC. Barry, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim, listen just about every day. Don't miss you much.
Oh, thank you.
Good show. I just wanted to add that guy was exactly right about the ACC. Isn't it funny? Georgia Tech's carrying the flag right now in football, looks like. You know, a friend of mine texted me and said since Florida State sued the ACC, they won 1 football game. Lost like 13. And how about Clemson? They're not doing too well either. What league do you think would take either one of them right now? I think they better stay where they're at and be thankful.
All right. I appreciate the call. You are right. I've seen that same tweet going around, so thank you for the call. That there's this little stretch where Florida State has won, I think, 1 game in the ACC, and it also so happens to be since they sued the league, they've only won 1 game in the ACC. They're like 1-13 or something like that, which is funny. It's funny. I don't think that's causing it, but I think it's funny that it happened in that way. I think Clemson is still extremely attractive to other leagues. Even if they're awful this year, there's only a few teams that have won multiple national championships this century, and they're one of them. Florida State, though, has got to ask themselves how attractive they'd be on the open market. Florida State might, since we always use the dating as kind of the metaphor, they might download the old dating app thinking they're just going to get match. It might be a couple days before they get that little ding or whatever you get when you match on the dating app. Florida State might not be as attractive as everybody thinks they are. Last caller here. We go to Dave in Wake Forest, wants to sound off on the Panthers. Dave, end it with a bang. Give us something good. Sound off on the Panthers.
All right, brother. First thing, love the show, man. Love it. First thing, anybody who's ever played ball knows football, knows what they're looking at. As soon as Chuba Hubbard was out of that game, there was a new pop in that offensive line. Okay, they know that guy behind them is fire. You can't. I mean, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Number one, because of what Dallas did to him, and So now the Bryce Young issue, and I hate to say this because he's a good kid. He has played his role, a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Let's all admit the Panthers have been awful. But I think, and I may be wrong on this, let's say his injury lasts 3 or 4 weeks, and it's not just a couple of games, and Andy Dalton comes out and kills it. You make Hubbard the backup to Dowdle. And, man, the sky's the limit. The defense is back. We see that. I mean, the Giants suck, but Carolina, had they ran Dowdle the whole game like they had the last 2, easily, 28-3, 28-6, maybe more.
All right, we're up against it, so I got to cut you off here. But I do like the points, and I appreciate the kind words about the show. I'll build off of your point for a second here. Here's the issue. Here's the only issue I have with what you're saying. Let's say Andy Dalton goes in. It's a 2 or 3 week injury, and he plays really, really well. So you ride Andy Dalton as the starter. You completely switch Rico Dowdle for Chuba Hubbard, and so Rico and Andy lead you to a first-round playoff. Let's say everything goes right. You make the playoffs as the Carolina Panthers, right? Everybody's jacked up. Everybody's excited. Guess what happens? Neither of those guys are coming back on your roster next year, right? The part of building a team is you're building a team, right? Andy Dalton and Rico Dowdle. Rico's not signed beyond this year. He was a 1-year contract guy, which is awesome for how good he's been and letting you develop guys around him. But then you're back to square one next year. I will say this, though. Whether it's Bryce Young or not, this team feels like a much better incubator for a quarterback than any Panthers team in the last 5 years, right? Like if you do make a switch at quarterback for next year, or if you bring Bryce back, and I'm not saying you should or shouldn't do either, we'll have plenty of time for those conversations. Whoever's the quarterback next year has a good offensive line, has a good defense, has a good wide receiving core if certain guys develop, has a running game that's proven, has some winning culture in the locker room that they haven't had in a few years. It's almost like they've done the things that they should have done before they brought in Bryce, finally, in the middle of year 3 with Bryce. They finally have kind of the structure that you should have in place before you get your quarterback. But, I don't know, I guess better late than never, but better on time is better than late. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And that's kind of what I'm getting at here, right? The best time to get a mortgage is when rates are low. Right? When rates are low, that's the best time. If we could all go back to whatever it was, 2001, and get that 2.5, whatever those rates were, we would. That was the best time to get a mortgage. The next best time, well, it's whenever you have to. You need a house. You gotta move for your job, family reasons, you need to upsize, downsize. You can finally afford your dream home. Whether rates are a little bit higher than you want or not, you want your mortgage. Gordon Miller and Miller Lending say, all right, we'll make it work. Let's get you a no-cost loan. No closing costs, no fees, no third-party fees, no extra surcharges. And what that does is it allows you to take advantage of a volatile market. If rates are higher than you want right now, and they drop a point, boom, refinance, no cost, no fees out of your pocket, get the lower monthly payment. If they go up a half point, you're cooling, you're chilling. Then they drop a point, boom, get that half point lower rate and lower monthly payment, and do that over and over and over again as rates drop, if they drop, and enjoy that lower monthly payment, right? The best time, sure. If we could all time it, we could wait for low rates, we would, and then we'd buy our house and we'd be great. It's not the way life works, right? Oftentimes, the time you need a house is the time you need a house and you can't control it. The no closing cost loan, the no cost loan from Miller Lending makes that a more palatable option. So give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We have first goal scorer predictions coming up next, so get ready to name who you think will score the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes and in what period you think they will score it. First goal scorer predictions next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He always makes excuses, and it's always somebody else's fault. That's who Tua has been through the 6 years he's been in the National Football League. Respect is earned, it's not given. I don't give a damn that you got a C on your chest and that you've been appointed the, quote, leader of the team from the coaches. In the NFL, if your locker room does not respect your quarterback, it's over. Full stop.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's Tailgate Special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles Tailgate Special, and go. It's bow time.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99 on the Fan for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Something that I have always appreciated about the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center is the fact that it's a plan. They actually give you a direct plan to follow. And I've stuck with that plan for 2.5 months, and I've lost 40 pounds. That's right, 40 pounds lost in 2.5 months thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I've been keeping that weight off too. They give you an actual plan to follow. I know how frustrating it can be when you're not entirely sure what that first step needs to be, but that's where Raleigh Weight Loss Center comes in. They have an actual plan for you to follow on that weight loss journey. And if you have questions or concerns about Raleigh Weight Loss Center or what the program entails, you can set up a free 15-minute consultation by giving them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. If you have questions or concerns or maybe some health concerns about maybe going on to a weight loss journey, have them answer those questions. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
It is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. And it is first goal scorer prediction time. The Carolina Hurricanes, 10 o'clock start tonight, taking on Vegas. At Vegas, obviously, for the 10 o'clock Eastern time start. The Canes are 5-0. This will be their biggest challenge of the year, in my opinion, or of the year so far, in my opinion. And it is time for first goal scorer predictions. So we ask for 2 pieces of information as requirements. Who scores the first goal of the game and in what period they score it. We'll open up the phone lines now for 3 callers that can earn the bragging rights that come with first goal scorer predictions. 919-860-5326. Call in now with who you think scores the first goal of the game and in what period you think they will score it. 919-860-5326. Of course, we're talking Canes only here. Don't get cute and say, like, Mitch Marner. Unless you think it's an own goal, then we'll count it.
Someone gets credit for it, right?
Hey, someone will.
We have a few suggestions already coming in.
Let's hear them.
So our guy Micah said first goal scorer, Kokiniemi. Little curl and drag bar down from a Svetch assist. Also, Anthony says, I like Stanky in the first 5-on-5. Or I guess in the first period of 5-on-5. So, yeah, there you go.
All right, I've got a bunch on Twitter. And by the way, if you want to get them in, you can continue to get them in on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Or you can go find the tweet where I asked for first goal score predictions at Donnelly Sports. But while we get our calls lined up here, I will give you the 99.9 The Fan personalities that have locked in their first goal score predictions. Paul Ihander, who hosts Next Up every morning 9 to 10 here on 99.9 The Fan. He has Martinook in the first on a Stahl assist. Thinks it's a clean pass from Stahl, right side top shelf. The additional details are just for bragging rights. Really, the only thing you need to be deemed a winner is name of player and period. Adam Gold, host of the Adam Gold Show, went Kokiniemi in the first, just like Micah. He thinks it's in the slot off a rebound. Victoria, who is the only member of our team to get one absolutely nailed correctly this year, has gone with this same prediction she went with when she got it right. Jarvis in the first thinks it's an Aho assist as an added detail. Max Gorin, Nikishin in the first on the power play.
Oh, okay, I like it.
Because obviously with Gostisbehere out, Max is expecting Nikishin to get some power play love there. Those are locked in. Let's go to the call-in line where we have Jared in Pittsburgh up first. Jared, welcome to the show. Give us the first goal scorer and period prediction.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Can you hear me?
We absolutely can. Ready for your prediction.
Awesome. So I've got Ehlers in the first period, right, on a partial change for his third time on ice.
Partial change.
Aho and Jarvis are not going to get his first points with Ehlers, unfortunately, but it'll start a snowball effect and more to come in the future.
All right. I love the details of it. Obviously, you're locked in for Ehlers in the first, and the additional details are for bragging rights. And if you get it right, I will give you quite a bit of bragging rights. Appreciate the call, Jared.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. I'll add this, though. it is almost impossible because Jarvis and Aho have a ton of points and Ehlers doesn't. So it would be kind of karmic justice if his first goal, they don't get the assist, they don't get the plus, they don't get any of it. They're off the ice. It would just be like, finally, I get one and they don't get all the credit. That brings us to Brian and Holly Springs. Brian and Holly Springs up next. Who scores the first goal and in what period do they score it?
Okay, I'm going with Aho. It's going to be in the first period, but it's going to be a mad Aho. He's going to get roughed around a little bit.
A
I think
man
he's going to come out with a little bit of vengeance.
All right. I love it. I love Angry Aho, one of my favorite versions of Aho. So hopefully he is seen early in this one. So Brian, Holly Springs, you're locked in. Thank you for the call. That brings us to Taylor and Holly Springs, our last official caller. Taylor, who scores the first goal for the Canes tonight and in what period?
I think it's going to be Jarvis in the first period, and I think it's going to be off a rebound of a shot from Ehlers.
Okay. You know what? At this point, I think many would take any point possible for Ehlers, even if Jarvis has to bury it to get the point.
So the entire top line.
There you go. Hey, you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad strategy to go to the guys that score a lot of the goals. Taylor, we appreciate it, and you are locked in. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Before, Dennis, I go to the texters, and there are plenty on there. I need to hear from you. Who do you have as your first goal scorer, and in what period do you think they scored?
Give me Stankoven in the second.
Stanky in the second?
Give me Stankoven in the second. I think this is going to be a slow start for Carolina. I think Vegas is going to jump out on them quick, so I think it's going to be a little bit of a grind for them to try and come back in this one. But give me Stankoven in the second. I think they're down 2-0 going into the second period.
All right, there's the detail at first intermission.
But Stanky makes it 2-1.
All right. Are you predicting a loss here?
Yeah.
I would say it sounded like you were predicting everything without saying like actual loss.
I think it's a 4-2 loss.
All right, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll make those
I
calls later,
legit
closer to
hope
the end
I'm
of the
wrong.
game. I'm going Ehlers in the first on a power play just because I want that to end so many conversations.
See, you're trying to do it.
I'm trying to put the energy into the world. You're darn right. Ehlers first power play.
Houston says on the YouTube live chat, Nikolai Ehlers in the first period, Jarvis shoots it off his skate, and that's what breaks the ice for him.
Hey, by any means necessary.
Brandon said, Jackson Blake in the second as he comes out of the penalty box for a slash, Martinook with a stretch pass.
I haven't seen many Blake predictions. Normally we get a good variety. I'll tell you right now, and I'm on Ehlers, so it's partially me as well. There is a lot of wishful predicting going on. There is a lot of Ehlers. Sean on Twitter said, because I did say in my question that it does seem like when these two teams play, there's a lot of wonky goals. When Vegas and the Canes get together, there's a lot of like just weird stuff happening, especially in Vegas. So Sean said, speaking of wonky, Ehlers on the power play early in the second off a sweet feed from Jarvis. Zach says Ehlers steps up and nets his first as a Cane, 7 minutes, 12 seconds into the first. Caniacally, I don't know how to pronounce that. Weird bounce from a Vegas skate. Blake gets credit for the goal. Last 5 of the first frame. Francis goes Svecci with the filthy lacrosse goal between 10 and 15 minutes in the first.
If that happens, that person, have them DM me.
If
I
that
will
happens?
send them a stack of my own personal comic books.
There we go. By the way,
if that happens,
it may have been last game, maybe 2 games ago. Svech thought about it. He was behind the net, and you saw him kind of getting in situation, and then he couldn't make it happen. But he thought about it. There's a lot of Ehlers. There's a lot of Ehlers predictions. Stankoven on a rebound from Evan. Stankoven with the deflection from AB. Jarvis in the first. Kane. Oh, how about this? Katie says, and this is, I think, a little bit of wishful predicting.
Okay.
Jarvis on the first Canes power play of the game.
Oh, okay.
There are 2, like the Canes are 5-0. I'm just going to put it all out there. The Canes are 5-0. They're winning on a road trip. They're winning ugly. They're winning in pretty fashion. They're doing a little bit of everything. There are 2 things that I think Canes fans desperately want to see. Power play get going, Nikolai Ehlers score goals. Like if those 2 things happened, I don't know what they would complain about, right? Because everything else seems to be going well, and the vitriol is all pointed at the power play, and it's all pointed at the Nikolai Ehlers of it all. So I want 2 Nikolai Ehlers power play goals today, and just walk in tomorrow like I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to do compliments all day. We're just going to be happy for one day.
It's all settled.
That's what I want. I want 2 Nikolai Ehlers power play goals in a win over Vegas, and then we're just going to come in and we're just going to say, how awesome was that? That's going to be like 3 of the segments we do on the show on Tuesday.
Natural hat trick all power play.
Why not?
Either's. Why not?
Why not?
All in the same. You know what? It's going to be a 5-minute major by someone.
I almost said that. I almost said it's actually all connected in the same major, but I didn't say it, and then you said it, so now I'm piggybacking.
There it is. Could you imagine?
Stoll had 2 in 4 minutes.
That's true.
Made it look easy, too. That was just like bing, bing, 2 goals. We're up 2-0. How's it feel? He's 30-something years old. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that participates in first goal score predictions. As always, if you get it correct, we will give you your love. Starting 5 is up next. Don't go anywhere.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
Biggest play of the season for Miami. Beck throwing downfield, intercepted, and Beck throws his 4th pick of the game, and that one was a killer.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down!
Oh yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with her driving, just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Temperatures cool off into the 60s pretty quickly this evening. Grab an extra layer. Overnight, it's clear with lows in the mid-40s. Tuesday, dress in layers. We'll be back in the mid-70s during the afternoon. It's a breezy day with mostly sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today at the closing bell, up 516 points to 46,706.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5. So let's jump into it, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
More college head coaches no longer employed. Billy Napier, Florida, got the heave-ho. Ready for this? After a win. I mean, do you know what that just did? That just opened up a new can of paranoia for coaches all across college football. Because I'm sure once you make it to like Wednesday, you're thinking, as long as I win Saturday, I can get another week out of this at least, right? Went out and won the game, got fired anyway, so now everybody's like, even winning doesn't protect us. That's a new new nightmare for college coaches across the country. Not Mike Norvell at Florida State. The other Norvell at the other state also lost his job. Colorado State. What's his first name?
Jay.
Jay Norvell, head coach at Colorado State, also fired. Obviously, Virginia Tech. Obviously, UCLA. Obviously, a bunch of other schools have already fired their coaches throughout the year. Penn State being most notable with James Franklin. It feels like it's happening more often than it used to. I don't know if it is. Maybe it's just one of those deals where it's like, it's always shocking. But mid-season coaching fires, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, I get it. By the way, 11 openings. I'll give you a list here real quick. Okay. I'm going to throw Stanford in there because Frank Reich's literally only there for just this season. So we can include Stanford in this. But Florida, Penn State, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, UCLA, Stanford. Those are the power conference schools openings that you can have. Then you also throw in Oregon State, Colorado State, like you just mentioned, UAB, and Kent State.
There's a lot of options there.
Yeah, I mean, it's 11. 11. And you know there's going to be more.
I was saying, more to come. The reason, sometimes I feel like I'm a bleeding heart, Dennis. I have emotions. I just feel bad for the players because there's no way your season gets better by shaking everything up. And when I say better, I just mean I guess if you have a ton of potential and a new voice could help you win. But usually if your coach is getting fired, it's because the roster isn't good enough. It's a bad team. It's a bad season. And now you just add a bunch of drama into the middle of it. And you only get 4, maybe 5 years of college football. This is just a tough way to go. But it's big money, big business. I'm torn.
Let's also not forget the athletic director for Florida State with their head coach Mike Norvell said today he's our coach this season. Paraphrasing here, basically, we're going to evaluate Mike Norvell and the coaching job at the end of this season, but right now he's our coach.
That's a dangerous game because obviously that's saying we're going to keep him and then fire him this offseason, but we don't want to have to shuffle things up this year. I don't know. It's obviously you have to fire early because you have to get your next coach hired, so then your next coach can have a full recruiting deal, and you have to know the whole thing going on. But I don't know. I just don't like it. You know what it should be? You know what? I just stumbled into the answer.
What's that?
We're going to have a 2-week window where, as a team, you can declare that your coach is going to go into the coaching portal, and you can send it. And outside of those 2 weeks, you can't change where you're going to go because that's how you treat players, right? There's going to be a 2-week portal window. And other than that portal window, you can't move. You can't go from school to school. So let's treat coaches and teams like we treat players and say, when your season ends, you have 2 weeks to decide if your coach is going to be retained. If not, you can put him into the portal, and then he can start exploring his options, and you can start contacting other coaches in the portal. How funny would that be? Even if coordinators that they want to be head coaches had to put their name into the portal. I mean, that's what you got to do as a player, right? Backup quarterback wants to be a starter somewhere, you got to put your name in the portal, which might risk your relationship with where you are. Huh? Does that sound crazy?
Who says no?
If that sounds insane, that's what you do to players. So I might agree with you that sounds insane and say you shouldn't be doing it to players. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Looking to the left, taking an end zone shot. And for Hagans, oh wow, what a catch. Samir Hagans has a touchdown.
So Duke football lost to Georgia Tech over the weekend. 27-18. It was very, I would say, Duke, Georgia Tech. It's a kind of, outside of the final score, exactly what I expected. Duke, high-flying, almost 400 yards passing. Georgia Tech, very Georgia Tech. Haynes King left, Haynes King right, Haynes King making passes. Georgia Tech gets the win, and Georgia Tech gets one of the few kind of quote-unquote respected wins in the ACC. Right? Duke, although they are now 4-3, is seen as a good team. So Georgia Tech beats them, jumps from 12 to 7 in the country with some help from some losses above them. That's massive. That's very important, right? Getting up to 7 is getting up firmly into the CFP realm, which, if I'm Georgia Tech, I'm making sure I get up as high as I can before playing Georgia. Because there's a world where Georgia Tech is undefeated, loses maybe handily to Georgia, then goes to the ACC championship, perhaps loses that one, you need to be like top 5 to have a chance at the CFP coming off 2 losses at the end of the year. So they need to keep rising. If you look at Duke's rest of their schedule, and I'm still a fan of Duke. I still think they have it there. I think their issue, in a weird way, is converting like good play to points. I don't know how else to describe it, right? I've talked a lot about how stats are kind of like the tickets at the arcade, and you got to pile up stats and you go cash them in for points. Somehow the Duke Blue Devils go to the counter where you claim your prize, and they just have fistfuls, just armfuls of tickets, and they come out with like a pencil and an eraser. I'm going like, you had 50,000 tickets. You didn't get anything cool? You got a pencil and an eraser? You had 373 passing yards. You walked away with 18 points? How? The first half, you outgained them by like 160, 180, whatever it was. How did you not walk away with more than 7-7? But that's just kind of what the Duke Blue Devils have done all year, right? They move the ball up and down the field, a couple well-placed turnovers, a couple of well-placed, fourth down lack of conversions, whatever it is, a couple well-placed penalties. And their production doesn't lead to points. And Georgia Tech was able to come out on the other side with the win simply by protecting the football, not making the big mistake. And Duke is now left at 4-3, although 3-1 in the ACC. So still set up nicely with a couple of losses around the conference to end up near the top of the ACC, which does bring me to the rest of the Duke schedule. So they played Georgia Tech today. They get Clemson, which is not as big of a trophy. Did I say today? I meant Saturday. This week, whatever. Then Saturday, November 1st, so after a little bit of time, they play Clemson. UConn, you would hope that's a win. They get Virginia, which is a big win, big win opportunity, but also when you're looking at the ACC schedule, Virginia's one of the undefeated teams. So if Duke can remain one loss in the ACC and beat Virginia, that gives them some opportunities to potentially win tiebreakers and things down the stretch if it comes down to it for an ACC championship game. So there's still a lot to play for Duke. But none of it matters if they don't find a way to convert production to points. I've described Duke this way a few times this season, and it came back to bite them again against Georgia Tech. If you were to watch their plays without the score bug, right? You take away the little scoreboard on the bottom of the screen and watch them non-sequentially, I think you would watch the game and go, I think Duke's winning, right? If you were just watching for play success, if you were just watching for, who's gaining more, you'd watch and you'd be like, I think Duke's doing pretty well. And then they'd be like, well, what if I told you they lost by double figures? Really? All right. It's crazy. They have to find a way to get out of their own way at times because they're still talented, still Duke fan of their talent. That's number 4. Let's go to the West Coast for number 3. UNC lost to Cal, but hear me out. It was only by 3. And at times, it looked like a football game. At times, they looked bought in. Does that make anybody feel better? Kind of makes me feel better. Listen, Gio Lopez still is an inefficient passer. Okay? The pass game still isn't what it needs to be. The run game still isn't what it needs to be. But it came down to the wire, and they were fighting all the way to the end. Which, baby step maybe, but step in the right direction. You go back, watch the Clemson game. You go back, watch the UCF game. There's dramatic changes of body language as that game goes on, right? There's dramatic changes in vibes as that game goes on. I didn't sense that as much in Cal. Now, obviously, it never got to be like a blowout, right? It never got to be kind of crazy. But I give UNC credit because, and not a ton of credit, but credit nonetheless. Over that second bye week, they had bye week Clemson, bye week. the negativity that was swirling around that program, the sources, the insider leaks, like all of these things, it would have been very easy to pack it in. It would have been very easy to say, this isn't what I signed up for, I'm done. And they obviously didn't do that. Now, I still don't think they're a very good football team. I still don't think this is some corner that they've turned and now they're going to be, a spoiler to the good teams down the stretch. But, for as bad as it was, it's slightly better today. Slightly. Kobe Pacer at 100 receiving yards. That's a guy that's been around. He's stuck around for a while. I still like, and this goes back to when I was watching the UCF game. Will Hardy just plays hard on defense. And he's a safety, and he's kind of, there were a few moments where if he wasn't making a play at times this year, the play wasn't getting made. But the thing that frustrated me the most about UNC, and I'm talking football now, is like there's a moment and Dennis, I know you'll appreciate this, in team sports where somebody says something, somebody does something because they're all the way in, right? And the teammates have a choice. They can either look at that teammate and go, corny, or they can buy in, right? It's the moment where somebody that's impassioned calls the offense together when you're through 3 quarters and you're not playing well, and they give a loud speech, and they at the end they go with, when I say score, you say the ball. Score! And the ball. And you get a choice. You can either yell the ball, or you can go, the ball, and look around and go, who is this clown, right? What does he think he's doing? Does he think this is a Disney movie? And you
Jameis eating W's.
And you can go whisper to your buddy over on the side, did you hear what so-and-so was saying? Gosh, so embarrassing. Like, you can choose. And at the beginning of this year, I felt everybody on UNC looking at anybody that tried to get any kind of juice and going, can you imagine? Loser. And I didn't feel that as much against Cal, right? When somebody made a tackle and jumped up and wanted a chest bump, there was somebody there to give him a chest bump. It's a little thing, but I think it matters in team sports. Because there's nothing more awkward than when somebody stands up and gives like a pregame speech in the locker room. All right, let's go. And then everybody stands up and like still has to tie their shoe and then walks out slowly. And it's just like, oh, geez. So they at least had a little bit of juice. They still lost, and Cal's still not a great team, but they had a little bit of juice. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Rolling right. Now Young rolls back to his left. Eyes up. Young throws. End zone. Diving catch. Leakett. Touchdown, Carolina.
That was a good play, by the way, for Bryce Young. Keeping the play alive. It was a good play. I'll give him that. Bryce Young, by the way, hurt ankle. Not expected to play this weekend against Buffalo. Obviously, he left the game. Andy Dalton finished it. But it was a win for the Carolina Panthers against the Jets over the weekend. We have some audio. Here is Canales with the latest on Bryce Young's ankle injury.
We're going to go day to day. We're going to go day to day on that right now and just really look at him each day. Just test the ankle in different ways to see if we can't get him back out there on Wednesday in some way, shape, or form. So we're going to just take it that way. And he's saw him this morning, talked to him, and he's like, let's push this thing. Let's see what we got, And so we're gonna try to take that approach with it and just go from there.
Let's push this thing. Let's see what we got. If you're looking at the schedule for the Carolina Panthers, which obviously is smart to do when you're looking at injuries, their bye week is not for a billion years. So that's not playing into injury decisions. It's not like, well, if we hold him out 2 weeks, we then get the bye and he can actually get 5 weeks to rest. You're not doing that math yet. But you go Buffalo, Green Bay, home at Buffalo, or home against Buffalo, at Green Bay. Then 2 division games, New Orleans and Atlanta. If he's already very unlikely to play against Buffalo, which is what the insiders have been reporting, at Green Bay might be a situation where if it's 50-50, you hold him out and have him 100% ready for New Orleans and Atlanta. So just keep that in mind. The other big story of the game that is going to be a point of debate moving forward is on the offensive side. Actually, there's another two. Give Xavier Legette credit. One of his best games as a pro.
Is actually his best statistically. Most catches, most receiving yards in a single game.
There you go. And a touchdown, which you just heard.
Yeah.
So that's high target percentage, right? 11 targets, caught 9 of them. That's very good. Almost 100 yards, 92 yards, and the touchdown. Give Xavier Legette credit. I don't know if that's like, hey, is that the new Xavier Legette? But it's at least, again, step in the right direction. But the big debate is going to be how do you use the running backs moving forward. Chuba Hubbard was out there first, finished with 14 carries for 31 yards. Rico Dowdle, 17 carries, 79 yards. Chuba did have a better day through the air than he did rushing. 2 catches for 24 yards, but it's still less efficient than Rico Dowdle, 1 catch for 17 yards. So it's going to be the debate. It's going to be what everybody kind of latches onto. Canales, meaning the head coach Dave Canales, earlier today on his thoughts looking back on splitting the running backs.
For me, it was great to just be able to call the game the way that it was supposed to be called. I didn't really have to overthink any of the plays, other than a couple that we had special for Chuba, a couple that we had special for Rico, a couple for Trevor that didn't end up playing itself out in the game. But in general, just allowed me to just stay in the rhythm of my calls, just go to the next one and not have to overthink who was out there.
So here's my super surface level, just eye test. Rico Dowdle was better on Sunday. I don't know if that's going to be continuing to be the case. I don't know if that is permanently. Maybe Rico Dowdle is just a better running back than Chuba Hubbard at this point in where they are. But on Sunday, Rico Dowdle was better. And I think the hot hand thing, if you're going to go hot hand, or if you're going to go with the committee, if it's a noticeable difference, you roll with the hot hand. I know at the beginning of the Dennis, I don't know if it was when you or when Max was reporting, was producing. I did say last week, so I'm just going to, all accountability. I said as long as Rico Dowdle gets more carries, don't let me come in here and yell and scream about how awful they were in developing or in deploying the running backs. And Rico Dowdle got 3 more carries. I just think now that you've played them both and you've gathered that information and you've seen what it is, moving forward, it is Rico Dowdle's backfield.
I was heavy when Rico Dowdle had his first game when Chuba was hurt. I was even at the beginning of the year. Use these guys as a 1-2 punch, which we really didn't see in the first few weeks of the season. So use them as a 1-2. But when you actually saw what Rico can do as a feature back with this offense and just how much more pop there is, you kind of got to lean on it a little bit more using Rico Dowdle. But the thing that disappointed me, not the fact that he got more carries, the fact that he only had 1 catch.
Rico,
that is. The fact that he only had 1 catch, because I think he adds another element in the passing game that Chuba Hubbard generally doesn't. I know he had the big screenplay, but I feel like you can line up Rico Dowdle spread out wide a little bit more than you can Chuba Hubbard, or at least get more out of it, I should say. That's the thing that disappointed me the most. If the carries were equal, or carries were what they were on Sunday, fine. But the fact that Rico Dowdle didn't touch the ball more in the passing game really disappointed me as well. No reason why he shouldn't have 4 or 5 catches along with his 17 carries.
Here's the thing. I still think there's a role for Chuba.
Absolutely, 100%.
I think it's 1 Rico, 2 Chuba. It's not 1A, 1B. And like Chuba picked up some 3rd and shorts.
Yeah.
That can be a role. Rico did not pick up whatever it was, a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1.
It was a 4th and 1.
4th and 1. Like, I'm fine if Chuba has his role. But it was obvious, like, once they got into space, there was more pop, and the defense feared Rico Dowdle more, and they should. He's coming off, 200-yard-something games. It's almost, if he's going to be on that kind of a streak, just play the streak out. Let him come down to earth. Let him have a couple 50-yard games, and then go, look, perfect, we have Chuba to boost him.
Yeah, wait till he cools off.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't cool him off yourself.
It's a basketball thing, right? Guy hits 3 threes. Your 3-point shooter on the other wing shouldn't be going, now it's my turn. It's like, no. We're going to keep letting him shoot it, and once he goes cold, then it's your turn. That's kind of how it goes. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The 1! Drop for Aho, his shot. Jarvis, he scores! He does it in overtime again! And Carolina stays unbeaten on the season. 4
4-3. Carolina wins it in overtime.
So here's the deal, everybody. The Carolina Hurricanes are 5-0 tonight, taking on Vegas. I say this like with my chest. I think this is easily the toughest test they've faced yet for the Canes. Two of the top 6 betting favorites to win the Cup, right? The Canes and Vegas. 3 games into a road trip, including tonight, 3 more games to go in the road trip. So you're at the point in the tunnel where you turn around and you're like, wow, that light's really far away. And you look forward and you're like, wow, that light's really far away. Like you're in the darkness. You're in the throes of it. A loss in this game would be predictable, kind of, right? A little bit of a lull in the road trip, good team, their arena. There's a lot going on there. But also, that becomes a chance to kind of show how real you are, right? Keep taking away players. Slavin, out. Gostisbehere, not expected to play. You're putting in younger players. Charles Alexis Legault expected to get his NHL debut tonight on the blue line. If you continue to shine through, that says something about your team, right? It does. And you continue to fight, which, by the way, Nikishin brings a little bit of that, right? Even the games where he's not, like, delivering gigantic hits, there's plays where it gets a little scrummy, a little chippy after the whistle, and he just skates over and almost looks at you. And you know what I think is very funny about it? Like, on the ice, it's not funny, right? It's big dudes. It's grizzlies in the same river fighting over a salmon. But watching it, you see the opposing team, like, yelling things at Alexander Nikishin, and I'm just pretty sure they're yelling in English, and he's just, like, barking back at him, having no clue what they're saying, which is funny to me, that they're in this, like, verbal argument, and neither of them have any clue what the other is saying. But it gives the Canes, tonight is an opportunity for the Canes to show they got something to them, right? They if they fight back, if they scrap, if they bring juice to this game, I'm going to be very pleased. I want to see a win. Don't get me wrong. 6-0 would be awesome. But I also want to see the same sizzle that we've seen, right? I want to see the same pop, the same energy that we've seen. Not to mention, although I'm going to mention it, the Marner thing could be seen as a disrespect thing, right? Like if you are a competitor and you make up slights, right? We've heard the legends of Jordan, Michael Jordan, that is, saying, that rookie said that I'm not going to score on him. Then he goes scores 45 on him, and like 5 years later says, yeah, that rookie never said anything. I just needed to get my juices up. Right? Mitch Marner declined to be traded to Carolina last year. Now, with a hint of logic, you say it's because his wife was about to have a baby and they didn't want to
have a child.
Didn't want to move out of Toronto and all these things. But yeah, you want to twist logic a little bit. He didn't want to be here. Let's show him what he's missing out on, right? It doesn't take – it's not a long walk to get from there to there. I think this is a really interesting game. I think it's a really fun game. And building off of the highlight there, the game winner in overtime for Jarvis, building off some of the callers from earlier today during Monday's Soundoff, I think this could be a game, another one, where Seth Jarvis continues to show what he is, which is one of the best players in the league. 4 game-winning goals through 5 games. He is the first player in NHL history to do that. And 2 of them were in overtime, like the most game-winning of the game-winning variety, right? Every once in a while you see a game-winning goal was scored, like 12 minutes. Nobody knew it was going to be the game-winning goal. These were like high-profile. He's been scoring when needed. He's been one of the best players on the ice every time he's on the ice. After the game on Saturday, he was asked why he wants the puck with the game on the line. This is part of what Jarvis said.
I want to be a big-time player, and I like these moments. I like the pressure. When you have a chance with the game on your stick, it's always fun. And so, to be trusting these moments and be able to capitalize like I have, it's awesome.
I know he's always kind of done it, but I think I'm believing him more when he's making these declarations for what he wants. If you watched the Amazon Face Off documentary, when he says, I would drive to the ends of the earth to bring a cup to Carolina, and I'm paraphrasing, but the drive to the ends of the earth was the quote. I believed him. Right, when he says he wants to score 1 billion, I'm believing him. Right there when he says, because I want to be, the type of player he wants to be, it's coming across a little bit more real, right? And I don't know if it's because I'm watching him play great, then hearing it and going, all right, they align. But I think Jarvis he's a bit more ambitious this year, and I like to see that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, speaking of ambition, I'm ambitious. I want to get an awesome watch from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. That includes the Fox and Bailey watch shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. If you're also ambitious, you may be interested in a pre-owned and vintage Rolex, maybe a limited edition or special edition Speedmaster, Moonwatch, right? Maybe a little gold band, maybe a little green dial, something really, really cool. They have it all at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. 50 Fathoms, meaning a Blancpain, the granddaddy of all modern dive watches. Norcane, which is kind of disrupting the luxury watch game a little bit and is also the official watch of the NHL and NHLPA. There's something for everybody. And I actually really like that about watches. It's not, when you're going to a black tie event, everybody's going to wear the same tuxedo. No, but the thing on your watch can show your personality. What you love is going to be different than what someone else loves. And it's all happening inside Fox and Bailey Watch Shop at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Village District location. If you have questions or you want to know maybe what type of watch is perfect for you, don't be afraid to give them a call or follow them on Instagram at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, or I would suggest stopping in and asking questions in person. When you do, let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Again, Bailey's Fine Jewelry and the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. We're going to take a break, but first, we need to grab some numbers game contestants. We have $30 gift card to Alpaca Chicken, legendary flavor, hometown pride, going to the winner of the numbers game today. So give them a call. Oh, all right. Dennis is fired up. We got the bold enough chime there. The number to call is 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. If you want to play the numbers game and potentially win yourself the gift card to Alpaca Chicken. Numbers game coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
Trust, a simple word looming large over Carolina football today. Reports have become reality, and so much it looks like we're publicly witnessing a couple renewing their vows after a long marriage. The problem is these renewals are coming way before the first anniversary of the relationship, and that's tough timing if you trust they'll stay together.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent train dealer. We back exceptional train products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
It's Chevrolet truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford, and the deals are rolling in heavy. Get up to $9,500 off a bold new 2025 Silverado 1500 ZR2, or choose 5.9% APR for 84 months. Includes a Wilkinson discount, customer and bonus cash, and trade assistance. See dealer for details. If you want rugged power and unbeatable value, Wilkinson's got your Silverado waiting. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Our contestants for today are Malik in Raleigh and Sean in Apex. They'll be battling it out with jersey number trivia to find out who gets to win an Alpaca gift card. As always, I'll bring them both onto the show one at a time. Ask them the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. Malik, you're up first. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. The question is, as it often is on Monday, we just finished up a weekend. What was the highlight of your weekend? But the only caveat being, We are a sports show, so keep it sports related.
The same parlay I've been running for the Canes hit again. So, yeah, that.
Say that again. I had a hard time understanding you.
I said the same parlay that I've been running for the Canes hit again. So, I mean, I would say that.
Well, don't be a
care to share
gatekeeper. What's the parlay?
Oh, so it's Canes money line, and then I try to keep it 5. A lot of times they have the goals 5.5, so I always put over, and then whatever goalie always puts our shots over or their saves over because we always get like 40 shots.
So the opposing team's goalie, you put the over on saves?
Yep.
All right. I'll
It's hit all 5 games.
All right. Don't tempt me with a streak. We'll check it out. So that hitting is the highlight. I like it. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see if you get to go first. Sean in Apex, you're up next. Same question to you. What was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
It's got to be watching Shohei Ohtani put up the best postseason performance game in MLB history.
That is an absolutely bananas game. And a fantastic answer, Sean. We will keep you on hold there, see if you get to go first. So, Dennis, we have the unbeaten parlay for the Canes, and we have Shohei striking out 10 on the mound and hitting 3 home runs in a postseason game.
Well, here's the thing. Malik just dropped. So
Malik said, I gave away my secret, and I'm out.
Yeah, no, for real. He's like, I think he's made enough money to go spend that alpaca. So I'm going to go. This actually really was a tough one. Just taking what Malik gave us, I'm like, wait, Canes are winning and you're cashing checks at the same time? Like, hey, I can't complain about that. But yeah, Shohei Ohtani, with what he did, 10 strikeouts.
So how do we want to handle
and 3 home runs. Well, we're gonna let Sean go first, but let's open up the line.
Okay.
Let's get another contestant here, and this contestant will go second.
All
right. But we need one more contestant. 919-860-5326 because Malik dropped.
All right, so get another caller on the line, 919-860-5326. But Sean and Apex will get to go first. So should we go ahead and fire up Sean and play the game?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, Sean, are you ready to roll? Ready to pick a category?
I'm ready.
All right, the categories are, you don't get this opportunity often, everybody. Call in right now, 919-860-5326. Might win yourself some alpaca chicken. The categories for you to choose from are NFL players that were at some point or another Jalen Ramsey's teammates, NFL players that were some point or another Joe Flacco's teammates, NBA players all Euro, so these are players that are European by origin, I guess, and then NHL Hurricanes only, obviously Hurricanes throughout history.
NFL Joe Flacco.
All right, these are all players that were teammates of Joe Flacco's at some point or another. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, ready.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Chase Brown, Cincinnati Bengals.
80.
Incorrect. Todd Heap, Baltimore Ravens.
86.
Correct. Jamison Crowder, Washington Commanders.
Pass.
Von Miller, Denver Broncos.
90.
Incorrect. Chase Brown, Cincinnati Bengals.
82.
Incorrect. Jamison Crowder, Washington Commanders.
I pass on him.
You only get 1 pass.
Oh, no, I already.
You got one. You got one with Todd Heap, 86. Oh, which is a good poll, by the way. Chase Brown, 30 is what we were looking for there. Jamison Crowder with the Commanders, 82. For future reference, hoping you call back in and play again sometime in the future, you get 1 pass, and then that gets you to hear another name. Passing gets you to hear like another name. If you don't like it or you don't know it, just throw out a number. That's the fastest way to get through it once you hear it again. Von Miller, we were looking for 58 with the Broncos. But like I said, you avoided the shutout. You did get 1, so stay on the line. Let's see if it holds up.
All right.
And that brings us to whoever we have. Ryan and Clayton is up next. Ryan, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, you're getting thrown straight into the fire here. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that were Jalen Ramsey's teammates at one point or another, NBA players, we're calling them all Euros, all players from Europe, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Go at NFL.
All right, these are all Jalen Ramsey's teammates at some point or another. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Let's go.
Let's go. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Marquise Lee, Jacksonville Jaguars.
No idea.
Say pass.
17.
Okay, 17. Incorrect. Jalen Waddle, Miami Dolphins.
11.
Incorrect. Marquise Lee, Jacksonville Jaguars.
16.
Incorrect. Jalen Waddle, Miami Dolphins.
17.
Correct. Pat Fryermuth, Pittsburgh Steelers.
18.
Incorrect. Marquise Lee, Jacksonville Jaguars.
24.
That is an all-time bad beat of a start. So Marquise Lee, Jacksonville Jaguars, you randomly said 17. He's looking for 11. That was the number he was. Jalen Waddle, Miami Dolphins, you randomly said 11. He's 17. So you literally had the first two completely flipped. You did eventually get Jalen Waddle for 1. Fryermuth, we were looking for 88. Unfortunately for you, and it's really bad luck because you didn't even get to answer the first question that decides who goes first. Tie does go to whoever goes first. So you both got 1. That's a tie. You're not the winner, but hopefully you had some fun.
Hey, is what it is. I'll be back.
All right, there you go. I like the dedication. That means Sean in Apex is the winner. Sean, congratulations.
Hey, awesome.
What was that, Sean?
I said thank you.
There you go. You're very welcome. Go ahead and stay on the line, and Dennis will make sure that he gets the information he needs to get you your $30 gift card to Alpaca Chicken.
Sounds good. I got myself lunch for tomorrow.
There you go. Legendary flavor, hometown pride, Alpaca Chicken, by the way. A little bit of update for tonight, and it's in division for the Carolina Panthers. Emeka Egbuka will play tonight, despite a hamstring injury. Early last week, and this is according to Ian Rappaport, it appeared to be a long shot that he gets in the game, but a pregame workout went well, and now he will play. That is, as somebody that has dealt with hamstring injuries, wildly surprising. To have a hamstring injury that you didn't think was going to be good enough to play, and 4 days later, now it's or 5 days, whatever that ends up being, whoa, now it's good enough to play. It's not an injury that normally heals quickly. So Emeka Egbuka in there playing for the Bucks, which is kind of crazy. By the way, tonight there will be, just to keep you updated on kind of what's going on, Panther Talk at 6 o'clock or 6:00 something right here on 99.9 The Fan. And then later on here on 99.9 The Fan, you will be able to hear the Canes game as they take on Vegas on the road.
9:30 Stormwatch.
There will be at least one of the NFL Monday night games on Buzz Sports Radio.
That's right.
So we're doing our best to get you all the coverage you possibly can on our family of networks.
We got you.
But Emeka Egbuka, active and playing for Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Good on him.
I don't even know how you accelerate hamstrings. I get other ones you can do a bunch of ice and elevation, or you can rehab really aggressive on ligaments, and you can shorten. I don't know how you make a hamstring injury. He must be a superhuman. That's what they always say, right? The younger and more athletic you are, the faster you recover from injuries. Emeka Egbuka must be one of those superheroes. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something he wants to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program of Raleigh Weight Loss Center for 2.5 months now. Started at the very end of January. Very end of July. See, that's how long I've been on it. At the very end of July, I started with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. So approaching 3 months now at this point. I've lost 40 pounds. But here's the thing about the 40 pounds that I've lost. Not only did I lose that weight, which was, by the way, 13% of my body weight, I've been able to maintain that weight as well. That's the thing about the last couple of weeks, stepping on the scale and still seeing in that same number, in that same range, at 40 pounds off. That's the whole purpose of the goal, or whole purpose of the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Not just reaching a goal weight, but maintaining it as well. They have a whole plan called the maintenance phase. And that's exactly what I'm in right now, maintaining this weight, hopefully still continuing to lose a few more over the next couple months. But the whole point of Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not just helping you get to that target weight. It's all about maintaining that weight as well. And they give you a plan. Hey, follow this, you'll see results. It's that simple. Now, if you have questions about that plan, if you have questions if it's the right thing for you, if you have many medical concerns, Well, give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call. That's what that consultation is there for you to have, so you can answer those questions. And you can maybe, hey, I have this medical condition. Does this work for me? That's the whole point of that free 15-minute phone call. All you got to do, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks towards, or back at, I should say, not towards, the college football weekend that was. Both UNC and Duke getting dealt L's. Stick around.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So we do have a I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. When you talk UNC football this year, there are 2 distinct, separate at times, although they're not fully separate, conversations. There is the tabloid UNC football, and there is the on-field UNC football. Tabloid has been interesting. They're drawing eyeballs. It's made some podcasts, I'm sure, very, very well listened to, and some tweets go viral. Like, it's done all of that. And then there's the football, which the football product has been bad. Okay, so it's so bad that they lost closely to a team that many predicted to be one of the worst in the ACC over the weekend, and it felt like a breath of fresh air. Right? They lost by 1 score to Cal in the middle of the night on Friday night, and it felt like, whew, that could have gone worse. Which says something about what the expectations are for that football team. I do have a bit of reporting done on the tabloid side of things that I will update you on. Brian Murphy, WRAL News, which friend of the show, he and Pat Welter have been doing a great job covering every different aspect of UNC. The University of North Carolina was to be paid $250,000 for the docuseries on Belichick and the Tar Heel football program by Hulu. So the fact that it's being canceled means they're not getting $250,000. Ever Wonder, I believe, was the who the contract was actually with. That was who was producing and doing the documentary, which was contingent upon Bill Belichick's participation. So that is that's a big deal. $250K is one of those things that I don't want to become numb to ever. $250K when you're talking about a $50 million budget, or the coach is making $10 million and the GM is making 1.5 and all of this revenue share. $250K is a lot of money. So to not let that go through because whatever reason, season's not going the way you wanted, you wouldn't be portrayed the way you wanted, that is a serious conversation. $250K might be the difference between next year having the quarterback you want and not. $250K might be the difference between, being able to, get that offensive guard that you want or not. And that's very important, as we're seeing this year, is having the resources and the funding and everything else to afford the whatever you needed, right? Heck, even if it's just for facilities, which it does appear to be what the money would have been earmarked for. If it goes towards, the practice center, the whatever, that is $250,000 that they don't have to fundraise, and maybe a booster can use to fund a NIL deal, right? One of the biggest misses in the way all of this NIL money is working is, my 2 years in business school before I dropped out to go to comm as my major, communications. It's opportunity cost. It's opportunity cost, right? The people that you used to go to, hey, we need money to build new facilities, are now the same people that are being approached about, hey, we need you to fund this NIL deal. Can you make sure this guy remains happy and stays on campus even if he doesn't get, all the playing time he wanted or whatever? So now, every time you go to those people and ask for money for facilities, or ask for money to pay a coach, or ask for money to pay a buyout, every time you do that, that might be one less person that can afford to help pay for your roster. So if you get $250K from Ever Wonder, which was going to make this documentary, and that money goes towards, making the Dean Smith Center better, that's $250K that you don't have to go ask a booster for, and now that booster may be able to take that $250K and help you with your roster. That's what I'm going for. Any money is good money as long as it's like above board, and this would have been above board. And even if the games aren't going the way you wanted, as long as you're handling yourself in a way that you're proud of, who cares if the games you're not winning games, right? If Bill Belichick told us last Monday, everything's going the way they wanted, right? The players are developing, they're getting better, the relationships are being built, even though they weren't winning, right? The process was working. Well, show us that. $250K. I get if it was 0-0, right? If you weren't bringing any money in and it was just an inconvenience, fine. But if it's $250K, $250,000, I don't know. I'm letting the cameras in. By the way, they lost to Cal, but as I said, it was could have been worse. Could have been worse. Looking at the rest of their schedule, right? Because I did deem it a must-win game, and if they didn't win that one, I don't see them getting to 4 wins, which I think becomes a really. I put 4 wins. Once we established that they were a bad football team, especially a bad power conference football team, I put 4 wins as kind of like a goal for them, because most seasons Mac Brown was flirting with 8 wins.
Yeah.
And it was like, if they don't get to half that, that's going to be really tough to sell. I mean, if they beat Stanford, who, by the way, they beat Florida State over the weekend, so
they did.
Maybe not the pushover we thought. If they beat Stanford, they get to 3 wins. They'd have to beat one of Virginia, who's ranked. Syracuse, maybe they're looking rough. Wake Forest, Duke, and State to end. That's not. I don't see a lot of wins there.
I don't. Like you said, maybe Stanford.
Maybe Stanford or Syracuse. I think it's a hard ask to hit both. And then beyond that, it's I'm penciling those in as losses. You'd have to surprise me.
So one more win. Let's say they get one more win this season,
which would be 3-9.
Yikes. Mac Brown went 6-6 last year. Went 8-4 the year before that, right? 8-5 against the bowl game, but 8 wins the year before that, 9 wins, and was in the ACC championship game the year before that. Now it's, can we scrape together a third win?
What it does is, first of all, bad luck. Like, don't get me wrong, optics.
It's terrible luck.
Optics are horrendous.
Awful.
Like, that's there, but I think it emboldens people to be a little bit more heavy-handed with them. Right? Okay, we can't afford to fire you because we gave you this contract. It's a bad contract. This offseason, we better see a big-time quarterback out of the portal, and a good one, too, because you missed on Gio Lopez. You gave him reportedly $2 million.
That or, hey, turn things over to Bryce Baker.
I actually think you're going to see him the last 4 games.
Last 4 games of the year, I agree.
Maybe the last 5 with the expectation of where you won't play him in the final. You just because then he can get hurt for a game. Like, you want all 4 games of Bryce Baker used. And if he plays great, then we've seen coaches save their jobs by going to the rookie quarterback in the NFL, and the rookie quarterback looks good, and then you're like, oh, you don't want to mess up anything in his development. You got to keep me around. Like, maybe that's the move, but if you win 3 games this year, it's no longer like I'm just trusting you that the process is working. You need to show me that the process is working. I need tangible things that the process is working. I need changes on your coaching staff, maybe your front office. I need players coming in. I need things to point to. The other part of college football over the weekend, Duke, for different reasons, that loss is really tough. They were in it against Georgia Tech, and that win they would have been ranked. If Duke wins that game, they are a ranked team right now, and they lost the game. That's not to say it's the end of the world, right? If they still win out in the ACC, I think there's a good chance they end up in the ACC championship. But they've lost any wiggle room, right? They've lost their margin for error. They have to take care of business now. And it's the same problem that they've been dealing with, which is, right, if they're dominating a game and gaining yards, dominating a game in first downs, dominating a game in big plays, and it's 7-7, that's become their MO. Right? They fumbled down on the goal line. It gets picked up, returned for a long touchdown. Other than that, they dominate the first half, but it's 7-7. So now Georgia Tech gets their wits about them and play much better in the second half, and they do pull away. And they do win by double figures. And Duke's sitting there going, I don't know. I feel like Duke played as well in the first half as, compared to Georgia Tech, as Georgia Tech played in the second half compared to Duke, but it didn't even out. That's a really frustrating place to be. It's almost, you see it actually. You know when you see it? Do you know what it felt like? And it's appropriate based on what's going to be on 99.9 The Fan later tonight. It felt like a hockey game where Duke dominated the first half and it was 1-1. And they were out shooting them and they were out possessing them and they had more power plays. And Georgia Tech got a weird fluky goal off of someone's skate and it was 1-1 at half. And that's, by the way, usually how it goes in hockey, right? If you let a good team get worked and be 1-1 going into the third period, it's almost always like that good team is going to win, right? It's like, oh, you gave them a second chance. That's what Georgia Tech was. Georgia Tech wasn't playing great in the first half. They got a fluky touchdown, and then in the second half they came out with new life and they won the game. The difference is it doesn't happen that often in football. It happens all the time in hockey, right? You'll see a team playing absolutely better hockey and they lose 3-1. And it's like, how? But, hockey's that sport, right? That's why they play 82 games. Football, it very rarely happens that way. Football, if you're dominating a half, usually you're up 2 scores. And for whatever reason, Duke finds themselves situations where it feels like they're dominating the game and it's tied or they're losing or they're not they're not ahead by as much as they should. That's a hard thing to work on. I don't know. I guess maybe it's not even just red zone. I'm putting that in the category of a team that always starts slow. You got to change your practice up to get them competing more, getting them competing with a winner more. I guess I don't know. Offense versus defense, ones-on-ones, got to get in the end zone. That kind of stuff more often in practice because you can't just have successful plays. You need to have successful drives. If that makes any sense. If that's too abstract, I apologize. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have Panther talk coming up next right here on The Drive, so you'll hear from Dave Canales on the win, Bryce Young situation, what Andy Dalton might bring to the table. I'm sure all of that will be addressed, so stick around for that. Later tonight, you will have Canes at Vegas right here on 99.9 The Fan. It is a 10 o'clock puck drop, so stick around for the late night. On our sister station, Buzz Sports Radio, you have Monday Night Football, so there's everything covered. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. Panthers playbooks, pack therapies, podcasts, clips from this show, the Adam Gold Show, whole bunch of stuff. And last thing, you can still get first goal scorer predictions in. Just send it to me on Twitter at Donnelly Sports. Respond to the tweet asking for them. I look forward to somebody getting it right, hopefully. Until tomorrow, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you then.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and Vegas.
Now out in front, Nikishin, he scores! Welcome to the National, his first NHL goal.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 9:30. Puck drop at 10.
The chance for Jarvis looking for the hat trick right on. Rebound out front, they score! Sebastian Aho!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
It's the Drive into Fall event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and right now you can drive away in a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited for